Another couple days of it too.
You're tougher than I am. I don't know. I might have just canceled on that one yesterday. Honestly, it
helps to win 15-5. I mean,
well, there you go.
It wasn't like an intense game that you had to, we got some early runs and put it away, and it was like, oh, thank God, we can kind of coast.
I saw this coming, and last week, I think, was it Thursday, the last semi-cool day we had? It rained a little bit. Maybe it was Friday afternoon. It rained just a little bit, and there was a window for about 3 hours. I looked at the radar, and it wasn't going to rain. And I ran out and mowed the grass because I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to do this on Sunday or Monday. And you went out and played baseball.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Some crazy guys.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Well, we are happy that you're here with us this morning. There's plenty for us to talk about. There's no doubt about that. That White House Correspondents' Dinner, I'll get to some of that for you here coming up shortly. Dan, what do you think? What do you think about the new background back here behind you?
Like
Did you notice that?
I did notice that. I mean, it's like a step and repeat of 97.1 FM talk.
Credit to Annie Fry, who worked this one up and spent the time getting it mounted up here on the wall. So looks a little better than that big 97.1 sign. I think is similar to the one that's over Dan's shoulder back there this morning. But I thought that was cool. Thank you for doing that.
Thank
if
you,
you
Annie.
didn't tune in last week and see it, or you're just joining us on the Window World webcam, simply the best for last this morning. We appreciate it. We got that up and running for you. So we're up on all the socials. And thanks to Ethan for getting that done. Drew's here with us this morning, helping us out with our socials, and he's going to be posting a lot of the stuff up for the podcast. If you missed something, you can always download the podcast. We're going to be talking a lot this morning about the elections. It is a week from tomorrow. It's huge. We're going to talk about St. Louis County issues later in the 8 o'clock hour because there's a Prop U and a Prop C on there if you're in St. Louis County specifically that you need to be aware of and what the implications are of that. Of course, everybody is going to be facing the statewide propositions. And we're also going to talk about that at around 7:35. Specifically this morning, we're going to focus in a little bit on Prop 4, which would, initiative petition reform. It would basically protect our Constitution. We've got to do this. I don't know when it's taken them so long to get this to the people. I don't know why we would blow this opportunity because I don't know that it comes back around again.
Well, and the money you're seeing spent in the opposition,
my gosh.
I mean, I'm seeing no one for everywhere. I mean, somebody's spending a lot of money to try to keep this open door constitutional, and that's what it's been. It's just been an open door. I mean, every single election, we're constantly voting on these constitutional changes. It's got to be harder to change our Constitution.
It needs to be more difficult. And to your point, I saw unfortunately for the people funding this, eventually the truth comes out as to where the money's coming from. Millions of dollars from the Missouri Realtors Association. So if you're a realtor, you should understand that the organization that you are part of does not reflect your views. If you are either a Republican or a conservative or pro-life or whatever the case may be, your organization does not reflect your viewpoint. They're spending millions of dollars that I assume are from the dues you pay to that organization to fight against Prop 4 and 5. And then this morning I see the other big one is the NEA. The National Education Association has spent at least $4 million that they've sent into Missouri to pay for ads against Prop 4 and 5. They don't want the income tax, and they want the
right to continue
to
they want to continue to manipulate our Constitution.
Yes, they do. So the NEA and the Realtors Association are just two of the big ones. There are many, many more, and many people, and all those NEA contributions are from out of state. That's not the Missouri NEA. That's the National Education Association in Washington, D.C., with the crazies up there, just so you know. So we're going to talk more about that with Ray Bozarth a little later in the 7 o'clock hour. So stick around for that. Hans von Spakovsky, all of our friends will be here this morning. But first, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield. The Democrat Party has totally capitulated to the communists within their ranks.
Yeah, thank you, Caroline Levitt, pointing that out. I've got a soundbite this morning from Steve Kornacki, or whatever his name is, over at CNN. He and Harry Enton do some of the polling stuff over there, and he's pointing out that there's a surprising amount of support within the Democrat Party for socialism. But when you get outside of the Democratic Party, those key independent votes they need, that drops like a rock. So independents are not going to buy into that garbage. Thank goodness.
Socialism, that should be the unacceptable view, in the Democratic Party. We all should be capitalists.
Yeah, the only guy with any common sense over there these days is John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania. I hate to think that all Democrats need to have a stroke to come to some common sense, but it's worked for that guy. I'm telling you. He has come around since his election.
If they're willing to take up arms against this regime, then we should be willing to help them.
Yep, General Jack Keane, they're talking about what needs to happen on the ground in Iran. No U.S. troops are going to be on the ground in Iran. I don't believe that. But he does believe there is a resistance that exists. We just got to figure out how to support them.
But it's great to be back at a place that I know very well because I built it.
Donald Trump had himself a ball. This is why I think he wanted this White House Correspondents' Dinner to be rescheduled. He had a whole bunch of nasty jokes about the media loaded into the chamber.
By name. He called people out by name. There was no generic about it.
And he was just waiting for his opportunity, and then some idiot tries to shoot him, and the whole thing got canceled. So the Don wanted to get back at some of these people. He was poking fun at everyone, and I thought it was great. Let me go to cut number 9, please, for us.
But tonight's event is even crazier than the last time. In fact, it's so successful that I've been informed by CBS News' David Ellison, who's going to do a fantastic job. He's the owner. He bought it, spent a lot of money, and he's going to make, I think, fantastic changes and keep some of the great stuff going. But that next year they're going to call it the Trump White House Correspondents' Center. He told me that, and I like that very much. We're going to change the name of it, okay? Oh, it's going to be so hot, just like our country is hot. We are hot, by the way.
You know, that just resides in the brains of the left. They just the thought that might be changed to the Trump White House Correspondents' Center is just going to eat at him until next year. When you know there's not a word of truth to that, he's just taunting them.
It was priceless just watching their faces.
Oh, I know.
During that, because they wouldn't applaud, they wouldn't clap, they wouldn't even laugh at some of the stuff that was really pretty funny. But they were like, "Oh no, he's laughing at us."
Well, he was making fun of the shooting attempt. Listen to cut 12 real quick, please.
But after hearing the gunshots, many people yelled, "Get down, get down," which caused Nicki Minaj to start twerking. Do you believe it? Get down. She's the only one that really understood what that meant.
I'm sorry, but Nicki was, she's kind of been a Trump supporter. She's been pretty out about that, right?
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. He just went after everyone. Caitlin Collins, by name, several of them. This was his chance.
I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I just caught some clips of it, but I thought, he was in rare form.
Man.
Rare form.
He owed him, too, man. Years and years he sat in the audience, and they jacked with him, and this was his opportunity. All right, we've got more of that for you throughout the morning. We'll get to a quick break here and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We are off to a good traffic start. It's disgustingly hot and humid, but traffic looks fine at this hour. So if you are just headed out, things are in good shape on 55. We look great. From out west into downtown on 70, quiet through North County, looking good on the Illinois side as well. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Well, I see there are a few rain showers in the eastern edges of our listening area this morning. I don't think we've got any relief in sight here in the next few days, but it does give you an opportunity, if you have basement leakage problems, to get that situation taken care of right now before it comes back. It may be hot outside, but you can certainly get work done inside, and let my friends at Home Shield Foundation Repair come over, and they will take care of it for you, and that would be Matt Hayes. You know, I've heard talked about Matt before. I know him personally. Our kids went to school together, and you can trust that he's going to be honest with you about what's going on in your basement. There are, I hear, some pretty large firms in town that walk in with a salesperson who is trying to sell you the most work they can. That means maybe a package of some sort instead of just fixing the crack in your wall. And that's Matt's promise to you, is he's going to address the problem and be honest with you about it and not kind of upsell you on that. So 314-271-9900. Right now he's offering 24 months, same as cash financing. So get that thing knocked out and take your time paying for it without any penalties of any sort. Tell him Marc Cox sent you. Go to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
When legacy automation starts impacting visibility and downtime, it may be time to consider modernization. Graybar's automation specialists work alongside your team to help you identify risks and map out realistic upgrade paths without unnecessary disruptions. Get started with a free health check of your operations and see what's possible. Yep, Graybar does that.
The time now is 5:21, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Kim's not here, so we're not going to have Kim on a whim, but at 5:35, we're going to have the buck stops here.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Marc Cox is St. Louis Conservative.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Yeah, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show on a Monday morning, 27th day of the month. Hard to believe July is almost over. I don't know if it's the heat, because Dan said they were like a bunch of zombies walking around on the baseball field yesterday. I kind of felt like that as I drove through downtown St. Louis this morning. There were the homeless. I don't know if it's the heat or what. There were homeless people sleeping on the grate down here below, almost below the window where I'm sitting. I can't see directly down there, but as I drove by, they were walking everywhere in downtown St. Louis this morning. It's weird because oftentimes the ones that are in the shelter are in the shelter. You would think they would be in this kind of heat. The ones that refuse to go to the shelter are usually over here at Homeless Park, but not today. I don't know what's going on.
Normally still asleep when we're coming in, too. Like, there's not much activity, but today I saw the same thing. I was like, man, they're all out, and just like you said, zombie. The heat's just got to be wearing them
out there this morning.
The heat's got to be just wearing them down. Can you imagine being in that situation?
Why would you sleep on a grate right now? Isn't that where that hot air
is it possible the air blowing out is cooler than the temperature?
Man, I
out
don't know.
here?
It might be. Well, it's coming. It depends. If it's coming, like if it's a cold air intake.
Yeah,
in
I
other
don't know
words-
I don't know what's going on down here.
Yeah,
but it was weird.
Definitely, the tunnels are going to be cooler than up above the ground for sure.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is, of course, there was a another person stabbed down here near the Mark Twain Hotel over the weekend, and that is at 9th and Locust, which is by the old post office, not all that far from where we are at 12th and Olive. So, you worry about those things when you're driving downtown at this hour. And that didn't happen. It happened Saturday morning. And fortunately, there was a police officer not too awful far away when that happened. So I don't know that they're day-to-day that they're really fixing this. And they went and interviewed people. This is the thing I love. They went and interviewed people for this, and it wasn't – you got people saying, I think it'll be okay, but if it happens again, I'm going to be concerned. This is the ask any idiot approach to television news where you walk the streets of downtown St. Louis and you find somebody who says something intelligent.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I forgot the
live
one.
downtown.
I forgot the 3 last week and the 4 before that, and
Yeah.
the 6 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and just really throughout the whole region, you had Cahokia Heights, you had Pontoon Beach murders over the weekend. It's just like no community anymore is safe from violence.
So, Dan, did you see the big TV news story this weekend?
Which one?
The fact that ABC is switching to Channel 4.
I did not hear that.
Yes.
Wow.
ABC has long, so a little TV history here. ABC, the network, has long been affiliated with Channel 30, right? And there used to be a requirement that to be an ABC affiliate, you had to provide a newscast.
Yeah.
So years ago, when they first went on the air, they hired a couple of anchors and a few reporters, including, I think, maybe our friend Paul Brown and a few other people that worked over there. And they were doing news for a few years. I wish I could remember the young lady's name. I met her a few times. She was from South Carolina, who was the anchor over there.
Gene Jackson was there for a while, wasn't she?
Was she?
I think so.
At 30?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
Briefly,
that.
I think so, yeah.
But anyway, it failed. Like the owners of 30 just wouldn't spend the money on a newsroom, and they eventually killed their newscast. So ABC has been without a newscast in St. Louis for years, a local newscast, which they see as a way to drive viewership of their evening news, right? I mean, they want a local newscast to drive their ratings for their evening news. And finally, they've given up on Channel 30, clearly, and they struck a deal with Gray TV to go on one of Channel 4's sub-channels, which is 32.1. So if you were picking up your digital, if you have a digital antenna, you could get it on 32.1. And if not, it'll be on the local cable channel still. But here's the difference. Channel 4 will be providing the newscast for the ABC station now, but they won't call it Channel 4. It won't be First Alert 4, News 4 kind of thing, but they're going to use their same anchors and reporters to duplicate news stories on just like Channel 2 does
11.
with Channel 11.
Yep, exactly.
Channel 4 is going to do that for ABC now, not for Channel 30, but for ABC. It's very confusing, and I have several friends that still work over there.
Well, what happens to CBS?
There's still nothing. Channel 4 is still a CBS affiliate.
Okay.
All of Channel 4's programming on Channel 4 is nothing changes. It's just that they're going to provide a separate news product using their same reporters, maybe a different anchor, I don't know, to provide a newscast on this separate channel that supports ABC.
Branded ABC.
Branded ABC.
Wow.
So, in other words, I texted a couple of my friends over this weekend. I'm like, dudes, it's time to retire now. They're like, why? I'm like, because all these people that work at Channel 2 tell me what a nightmare it is. It's like a hamster on a wheel.
They got to replicate their news.
You have to, every story you do, you have to replicate it for the other station. And it's like whatever you do in a day, your workload just doubled because you've got to also feed the beast at the other station. And odds are they're not hiring any more people to do it.
And how long before AI takes over?
I'm just warning you. TV news about to get more watered down in St. Louis. We'll be right back.
If you're a business or brand that's still paying for ads people skip or ignore, that's cute. Try a new method of advertising your customers can't mute. Join our mobile movement so you don't get left in our dust, because stationary billboards are a bust. Big, bold, loud, and in-your-face advertising that doesn't wait for traffic. We drive through it, bringing your business or brand right to your customers' eyes. You can't delete it, you can't trash it or swipe right. Hell, you can't even ignore it. The answer? The moving billboards, baby. We circulate around any high-traffic venue, capturing people's attention when they're making decisions. Inside stadiums, big brands compete for attention, but outside the stadium, we own the street media. Because in a world that's went mobile, your advertising should too. Try moving billboards. They really work. PinkTiger.ai.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It's a busy week with tech earnings, multiple economic reports, and the Federal Reserve meets Tuesday and Wednesday. Investors will be reacting today to earnings from pharma giant AstraZeneca. Also, there's an update on durable goods orders, demand for expensive manufactured things in June. Later this week, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, Apple, and Amazon report earnings. David Tao, president of ProChain Capital, believes tech investors are not seeing the big picture.
What I think is the market is being quite short-sighted. It's only rewarding the semiconductors or the chip manufacturers like Micron, like SanDisk, like Intel.
There's an update on the gross domestic product this week, economic growth for the spring quarter, and the PCE price index inflation reading. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda. Invested in you.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making...
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Yeah, we are looking good on the roads so far this morning. Northbound 55 is in good shape. We're fine on 270. Things look pretty good on the Illinois side, at least right now as well. And we're quiet if you're taking eastbound 64 from out west into downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, if you need work or service on your garage door, who you going to call? Like when that thing breaks, it's gone. And then you are either trapped inside, or if you've got a really heavy door, or maybe you've got your car trapped inside and you can't go anywhere. I don't know. There's one answer to that. That's Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, overheaddoorstlouis.com. Go to their website. Tell them you're stuck. They're not going to leave you stuck. They're going to get out there and give you same-day service and get that thing fixed. I've had the spring break on my door a couple times over the years. That is a a dangerous job. You do not want to try to do that by yourself. Let the professionals do it. They had mine fixed in no time, and we were back in business. That's great. So they've been at this over 100 years, and right now they're giving you a chance to win $5,000. It is their curb appeal giveaway. They pull the winner on the 31st. So today's the 27th. You got 3 days left to basically get your name in. There's no purchase necessary. No strings attached. You go to Overhead Doors St. Louis. You submit your name for the contest. It's the first thing you see right in the middle of the page, and you might win $5,000 toward new garage doors or whatever else you want. So for service or just to buy new garage doors, if that's what you're interested in, check them out. Tell them Mark sent you. Go to overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined, and the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Today,
The Cards, the Cubs.
St. Ben Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. St. Ben Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. The buck stops here.
Oh, today's musical magic is a fun little parody that we put to the famous Frank Sinatra tune, New York, New York. This takes a very humorous poke at Mayor Mondummy and his socialist agenda. You are going to love this classic. Here we go.
New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that feels like home, and not with defunded police, migrants galore, man dummy run grocery store.
Man dummy.
Thinks he's a genius. AOC with a penis. It's time to stick a fork in it. New York, you're done. Soon the tax base will be gone to Boca Raton while town becomes commie town.
Okay, you may have heard we had to cut a little beep there. If you want to find out what the beep was, you can go out and check out that song for yourself. I found that song on a very, it's called Recharge Freedom. Just go to X and find Recharge Freedom. He's got that song published, and the video with it is actually pretty humorous. But, you know, the socialists we know, Mark, are, you know, they're figuring out ways to take control of more and more parts of people's lives. They're trying to get these gullible young people to turn over all their needs to the almighty government. But Republicans and conservatives are doing just the opposite. Many of them who are on the right see this moral decay and the poor decisions our government is making at a ton of different kinds of institutions, especially when it comes to educating their children. This new report blew me away. It's a report that came out showing a massive jump in the number of families who have finally had enough of the woke educational system. 1 in 16 American kids are no longer going to school, public schools. They have gone to homeschooling. Now, you say 1 in 16, that still isn't very many, right? Well, in just 2001, there was 1 in 59 children who were homeschooled. So in 25 years, we have seen this number go from 1 in 59 to 1 in 16 who are now being homeschooled by their parents. And I'm telling you, the numbers are staggering. If you look at this report that kind of dives into why these parents are doing this, it's strictly based on what's going on in the school districts, right? You're seeing this critical race theory being forced down their throats, the gender identity, the schools that hide things from their parents. They aren't wrong either about the academic standards being greatly diminished. Listen to this. Now, the number of proficient high school seniors, this is from our own Department of Education. The standards right now to be considered proficient, you only have to be 22% proficient in math, and you're considered to be proficient. 45% of our current seniors in high school cannot do basic math. This is the worst in recorded American history. They can't do simple arithmetic. The science, you only have to be 22% efficient in science to be considered proficient by our Department of Education. Right now, get this, right now,
wow.
Do you know how many seniors read at a high school senior level?
Nationwide.
40%. 35% of our kids can read at a high school senior level, meaning 65% of our kids are graduating from high school without being able to read at the appropriate level. We spend $20,387 a year per student, more than 98% of other countries. We outspend them all, and yet we are ranked in the world in 113th in terms of overall proficiency in our schools compared to other countries.
The left has ruined this country.
No kidding.
So we wrote another example
and
of
keep in mind, we wrote the test. We put these proficiency levels in place. We're the ones determining, our Department of Education is determining what's proficient, and we still aren't even hitting the standards. I'm surprised they haven't just lowered the standards, which they have, by saying you're proficient if you're only 22% of math. But school teacher values, nobody asking for it. They're failing at the subjects that they were hired for. The teachers' issues alone, the fact that we're allowing them to teach things like DEI, like transgenderism, and not. Meanwhile, our kids in core competencies are continuing to fail. And, we're paying for this twice because we have to pay for it, obviously, with our taxes to get these kids into these schools and through these schools. But we have to pay again when these kids come out and they're not proficient and can't get hired and can't have a living wage. We have to pay for them to be on our welfare
And then they
programs.
vote for socialism because we failed them.
We did fail them. Yeah, and again, we are paying for this crisis 2 times over. 3.4 million families have finally said they've had enough. 3.4 million Americans have said, we're done with the public school systems. We're going to do this ourselves. And oh, by the way, the proficiency level and the competency level of homeschooled kids is 2 to 1 higher in every category. Better in math, better in science, better in social studies, better in history. Go right down the line of it's amazing to look at the outcomes of these kids. And I got a chance to coach a lot of homeschool kids. I did a baseball program. They were so disciplined. They were they were respectful. These kids were amazing athletes simply because they were great at absorbing information and then being able to turn it into action. One of my best players, I'll call him out, Nick Sangianini, is now a high executive at Amazon. But when that kid, it was a homeschooled kid, came to me, people said, homeschool kids, they're socially inept. This kid was one of the funniest, socially, I mean, just a great kid, and I mean intense ball player. Anybody who's trying to sell you that your child will lose out because of social skills, or they won't be interacting, that's BS. Especially now in the sports ranks, where they're not even recruiting anymore out of high schools very much in any sports. Everything's being recruited for colleges out of club sports. Well, if you're a homeschooled kid, you can participate in every single club sport there is and still perform at a high level and get your socialization with other kids through those sports programs. But I'm telling you, more families need to keep looking at this. Now, 7% of all American families are.
It's a positive trend that it's growing. I wonder what those statistics look like. The difference between, you said 2 to 1 homeschooled to public school
in terms of outcomes.
I wonder what that is, private school to public school. Because I know the academics are more rigorous at private schools, because parents are directly paying the bill, they demand higher standards, and the schools have to produce that.
Yeah, and I think the numbers that the Department of Education put out, which is what this report was on, were of public schools, because I don't think the private schools have to share, but there's no question private schools academically are oftentimes light years ahead in terms of their averages of every kid. My son went to Priory. I think their average ACT score was a 29.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their
huge
average.
Difference.
Yeah.
And for anybody that says, that's just because you can afford to send your kid there. And guess what? If that's your attitude, that's fine. I know that it does cost more to do that. Give me a voucher, and then you can do it too. That's why I've always argued school vouchers, they don't what they do is they cross socioeconomic lines. So in other words, if your kid goes to the failing St. Louis City schools, you should be able to get a voucher for what that costs and send them to another school that is producing higher test scores. Your money should be portable for that reason. Don't get mad that somebody else can afford to do that and give their kid whatever advantage they can. You ought to be mad at the people that formed the Department of Education back in 1980, Jimmy Carter and the Democrats, and the fact that we've never been able to get rid of it. Donald Trump's trying to get rid of it because our test scores have fallen precipitously since the Department of Education was founded.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a direct line down in test scores since they created the bureaucracy that is the Department of Education, which I would point out has never educated anyone, not a single person.
No.
It's all done locally at the local school level, and the states ought to be in charge of that.
Yeah. In some of our schools, they can't even tell you what a woman is.
Right.
I mean,
they walk out of there not knowing basic biology.
Yeah, and it's also sad to see that these DEI principals have worked their way into the school district where they feel those are equally as important as the basic needs that they have as kids growing up. They're not getting anything taught to them in terms of how to live their life and how to balance a budget and how to, go out and get a skill that's going to pay the bills when they get older. I mean, these kids are coming out skillless. I mean, graduating with not a single applicable skill to the real world, and it's sad. And again, if you're homeschooling, you can kind of help a kid find his passion, dictate it, get him into, high school. If he wants to be a plumber, wants to be a pipe fitter, wants to be an electrician, get him into those programs at 15, 16, 17 years old. So when he graduates from high school, he could have a $70,000 a year job. They're taking apprentice in some of these trades as early as 15 to try to get these kids educated so that they're ready to go into the workforce immediately after high school. So many great options out there if you take the homeschooling route.
Great point, Dan, and love the song, by the way.
New York,
AOC
New York.
with a wiener.
Wiener.
Yeah, that's it. All right, that's good. We'll be back here in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good on the roads at this hour. There was just a little bit of volume in the Herculaneum area this morning. And that, of course, is where we've got road work going on. But for the most part, we look good. And that's Missouri and Illinois sides both, at least at this hour. 70 looks good through the construction zones out west into downtown. We're fine through North County. Yeah, we really are off to at least a decent start at this hour. Now, of course, we have road work going on throughout the area, and you have to watch out for that during the daytime hours. But it really shouldn't be too bad, at least right now. Now, if you are traveling down south through 55 and that sort of area, we're quiet, but we have multiple construction zones down there, so that you do have to kind of take it easy. This report is brought to you by i3 Broadband. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, let's talk about air comfort service. Boy, are you going to need this phone number today if your air conditioner fails. Go ahead and write it down. Put it in your phone, 314-513-0091. That could be your lifeline when the temperatures hit 100, the heat index hits 110, and the air conditioner goes kaput and doesn't work anymore. So call Corey Malone and my friends at Air Comfort Service, because they're going to be there for you. They're going to be hopping today, man. I know they are. But they promise 24-hour days, 7-day-a-week service at Air Comfort. There's probably people out there right now fixing air conditioners at 5:49 in the morning. So you call them up, you tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it, and you need service. If you're looking for a new unit, maybe you want a second opinion. Maybe somebody's come out and told you your compressor's shot, or it's just cheaper to get a whole new unit. Let the folks at Air Comfort Service come out and give you a second opinion for free, not going to cost you a dime. I have loved my air conditioner so far. The windows were all steamed up this weekend. It keeps the humidity low, and my wife is wearing a sweatshirt, and we have the thermostat set at 74 in my house. It's fantastic. So 314-513-0091 or online anytime at aircomfortservice.com.
Summer celebrations are here, and i3 Broadband keeps you connected. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade today, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
Dana Lash.
America is that shining city on the hill, such an unprecedented beacon of freedom for the world. People risk their lives to get here, and it's worth celebrating America.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. We are a week out from the election, and I've got a couple of guests coming up later in the show to talk about that. We're going to talk about Amendment 4 this morning, which I think is important because it's initiative petition reform, which you've heard me gripe about on this show for years now. 5-6 years we've been pushing for this, and in the meantime, the evil forces that exist outside the state of Missouri have managed to force abortion on demand until the day of birth down our throats because we're too stupid to fix this problem. Missouri's one of the few states in the country where you can buy your way into the Constitution. We've needed to fix this forever. We've had We have to walk down the street now everywhere we go and smell weed because they forced this into the Constitution. They didn't go through the legislature. They went around the legislature and forced it into the Constitution that you have to walk down the street in plumes of pot smoke. I'm on my way to the movie theater the other night to see The Odyssey, and these two guys get out of the car. They're walking in front of us. And, of course, they had to get stoned before they went into the movie theater. So I'm having to – anyway, but I know it's always been around. Just let me rant for a minute. These are the kinds of things, Clean Missouri, all of these things that they've tried to force down your throat just because liberal forces outside of Missouri want these things. And we need to put a stop to that because all of these issues – maybe marijuana might have been the exception because it got a higher vote total than I would have expected. But with a simple majority required in each of the 8 congressional districts, not only does that guarantee that everybody buys into it, it's still just a simple majority. But what it means is you can't just whip up the crazies in St. Louis and Kansas City and force something into the Constitution that the majority of residents of Missouri do not support. Well, that's what it does.
And how they always use the off-election cycles to get these things passed, too. They'll take an off-election in the spring or in the summer. For example, in August coming up, like this is a huge election.
Right.
But the way these urban communities get the vote out is because they actually have referendums. They have other things. Sometimes they'll have their primary elections in these big cities. So they get this huge turnout, which means the Democratic vote is always there to hammer this down our throats. And the rural voters don't show up for those elections.
Correct.
Right? So these statewide elections are simply... I mean, they're bought and paid for. They'll spend millions of dollars on the campaigns where
they know how to manipulate,
and they know there's no opposition money against them. So literally, as you put it, they buy our Constitution. That's what Amendment 4 is doing. It stops them buying it and saying, no, if it's good for the state, everybody in the state should agree that law is a good idea. That Constitution shouldn't be changed but once every 10 years.
The Pro-4 people are spending some money. There are some ads running now. Ray Bozarth works with that group, and he's going to join me this morning at about 7:35 just to talk more about this. They'll get outspent maybe 8 or 10 to 1.
Yeah.
That's how important it is to these leftists who want to stop this from happening. And when I have to go on my Facebook page and my X page and get in arguments with people who somehow still want to claim they're conservative but don't believe this is a good idea, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, you claim you're the most conservative person you know on your X account or your Facebook account, and yet you're opposed to stopping these leftists from constantly impacting the Missouri Constitution. Nonsense. I mean, I'm not buying that. Same on Amendment 5. Don't come and tell me you're a conservative and you're opposed to Amendment 5. Why?
Because of the future taxes that might happen. Well, make them happen. Make them come after and try to get other taxes, but let's force them to look at the budget and start cutting spending.
The Hancock guidelines are still in effect, and all these concerns about that taxes are going up overall is nonsense. That's not what it is. It's just about a fair tax is what it is at the end of the day. If you're a conservative and you're voting against the idea of less government intrusion in your life, of them not reaching into your pocket and taking money out, we need to have a long talk. I would just argue that for sure. All right, quick break here. We're going to be back in a minute. We'll get to the St. Louis Morning Brief coming up. We got business. We got in other news, Hans von Spakovsky in the 7 o'clock hour. Stay tuned.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
The wait is almost over. Tickets for the 39th annual Budweiser Guns N' Hoses go on sale Friday, August 1st. It's a night to remember. Thanksgiving Eve, November 25th at Enterprise Center, as local responders step into the ring for the Backstoppers. Every ticket purchase supports the Backstoppers, providing financial assistance to families of fallen and injured heroes. This event sells out fast. Grab your tickets now at stlgunsandhoses.com on August 1st.
Looking for a smarter, safer way to invest? For a limited time, lock in a great rate with Together Credit Union's 11-month CD special. From day one, your return on investment is guaranteed. No market swings, no surprises. Just a competitive, fixed rate that steadily grows your deposit. Make your money work harder with a financial partner that puts you first. Visit a Together Credit Union branch near you or go online to togethercu.org to learn more. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, I'm Uzo Aduba, and right now medical information is not regularly being shared within the research community, but you can help change that. Patients can help accelerate research by sharing their information and unique experience.
Everyone's experience with cancer matters, including my own.
If you're a cancer patient in the U.S. and its territories or Canada, you may be able to play a part in accelerating cancer research and uncovering new breakthroughs simply by sharing your patient data with researchers around the world.
My unique experience can make the difference of life and death to some of the people in my community.
It is in our stories and data that the answers can be found.
Join Stand Up to Cancer, Count Me In, and thousands of patients like Maeve, Bridget, and Joel in this movement.
For our family.
For our friends.
For us all.
The information is out there. Together we can unlock it. Join in at standuptocancer.org/countmein.
Hi, I'm your kid's old jeans. I've been in the drawer for a while and really missed the playground. You should swing by Goodwill and drop me off. Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. Plus, I can get back into the game. Donate today. Tag, you're it.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
They were shooting at each other. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but many others were caught in the crossfire last night in Seattle, sending people running at a food festival near the Space Needle.
One of the victims at Harborview Medical Center did not survive their injuries, so now we have a total of 3 fatalities out of those 7 victims.
Seattle Assistant Police Chief Tyrone Davis says they took one shooter into custody.
There was another person that we believe that was also involved that fled the scene, and officers began an active search for that person.
Last night in Germany, police tracked down the suspect in Saturday's Pride Parade attack that left 1 dead and 29 wounded. And when he came at them with a knife, he was shot dead.
On Saturday, thousands gathered in Berlin to celebrate and to protest. On Sunday, many returned to mourn. Eric Müller among them.
The black and bad day for the whole community in Germany, European and the whole world.
Police say the van attack on the LGBTQ Pride event in Germany's capital was an Islamist terror attack.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. did not bomb Iran overnight. It's now 3 straight nights without attacks. After 13 straight days of resumed American bombing, Iran says as long as that pause continues, it won't go on the attack. U.S. Ambassador to the UN Mike Waltz tells Fox News Sunday talks continue trying to end the conflict.
We've had both Oman and Iran and a number of our other negotiators engaged at every level.
Ukraine has gotten involved.
According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, this weekend Ukrainian forces struck Iranian vessels that were carrying military cargo between Russia and Iran in the Caspian Sea. Now, the Iranians responded by saying the strikes cannot go unanswered. There are a lot of moving parts in the region, but there's also an ongoing U.S. military buildup to give President Trump a variety of options moving forward.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv, and as the fighting is on hold, oil prices plunge. WTI down more than 7%, over 8% for Brent crude. Gas prices, though, up 11 cents from last Monday. America's listening to Fox News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments. Just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:03, and we have a balmy 82 degrees. That heat warning still in effect until 9 o'clock tonight with a forecasted high of 99 today. First responders will resume their water rescue search on Klondike Park near Defiance along the Missouri River in St. Charles County after spending nearly 3 hours looking for a reported missing swimmer. They called off the search at dark, and they'll resume early this morning. Railroad cleanup crews will continue their work today after more than 24 coal cars derailed off the Pacific Rail Line near Eureka. The major coal spill near Peevely Farms Golf Course happened when one of the cars struck an overpass that was built in 1920. The major case squad has been working overtime in the St. Louis region. The first case was a shooting death of a 16-year-old in Cahokia Heights on Saturday. The shooting took place in the 1100 block of Camp Jackson Road. The teen was declared dead at the scene. Then early Sunday morning, another deadly shooting in Pontoon Beach. Police responded to shots fired in the 4000 block of Pontoon Road, where they found a 34-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at a St. Louis hospital. Police are looking for help in both of those fatal shootings. Anyone with information is asked to call the Major Case Squad or Crime Stoppers at 866-371-8477. In sports, the Cardinals got a gutsy start from Kyle Leahy in the scorching heat, but the Cardinal bullpen, they couldn't hold the Reds down. They lost in 10 innings, 5-3. The Redbirds will host the Cubs, the first of 3 tonight at Busch. The first pitch at 6:45. That's your headlines. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look really good on the roads this morning. Northbound 55 is in great shape and through multiple construction zones. Looking good on eastbound 70 from out west into downtown. 6440 is in good shape. And at this hour, it looks like we're quiet on the Illinois side as well. This report brought to you by the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's Soupy going out the door to a very hot and humid sunny day across St. Louis. 99, 100 degrees. The heat index 110 plus. Clear, very humid tonight. 79. That's it for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny. It's slightly better, 93. But it's even better Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sunny and in the upper 80s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's 6:06. We've got 82 degrees on our way to a high of 99. Take care of yourself. An extreme heat warning is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. Don't forget to listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show and all the great shows here on 97.1 FM Talk by taking that free Odyssey app and putting it on your phone.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
It's so damn hot.
That's the truth.
It's so hot.
Flop sweat hot is what it is out there. Good morning and welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show. A few minutes after 6 on your Monday morning, the 27th day of July.
The sun's not even up and the temperature's already rising. What's wrong with that?
We are on hell's front porch. That's Dan Buck, by the way, in case you're wondering. He is in this morning helping out because Kim is vacationing. It wasn't hot enough here, so she went to Florida.
You know, it might be cooler in Florida.
It might be cooler in Florida right now.
In fact, yesterday I know it was because a buddy of mine has a home in Fort Myers, and he said that it was only 88 there yesterday.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, how did we get stuck with this furnace? And the sunny south is actually cooler than St. Louis.
Only 88 degrees.
That's what he said.
That is crazy.
I know.
So we're in a situation where I have to watch the newscasters tell me don't go outside, and if you do go outside, Dan Buck, don't drink alcohol.
Oh.
Now, let me tell you, Dan Buck went and played softball in this mess yesterday.
Hardball. Don't call me a softball player.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. He went and played baseball yesterday, and then afterwards drank beer. So you violated all the rules. You went outside and you drank alcohol.
Yeah, after like 3 gallons of Gatorade and water during the game. You don't drink while you're playing.
Doesn't matter, Dan.
Really?
The local newscast will tell you that you're too stupid to make decisions on your own. So
I'll tell you, there was nothing better. I've never had a beer taste so good in my life.
Oh, I'm sure.
When that game got over, I was like, this is the coldest, best beer ever. It was so good.
When that first one goes down that smooth, you know you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It felt amazing.
So anyway, don't drink at 6:08 in the morning. That'll be my advice to you. But, beyond
that's
that.
sound advice right there. Yeah.
Don't start this early, but you should be all right to have a cold drink later today at some point, I would think. I'm just teasing. It is going to be hot. Take it easy out there. I feel bad because, we're fortunate enough Dan and I, to not have to stand outside as TV reporters anymore and tell you not to come outside because it's too dangerous. But I do feel bad for all my friends who work outside, like people who are listening who are, driving to work on a road crew right now or something like that.
How about that?
Live.
I was thinking about this when I was given the news this morning about the derailment of the rail cars.
Yeah, down by the
Eureka.
golf course, right?
Yeah, near Eureka. And I was like, imagine being on a railroad crew today trying to get those 24 boxcars uprighted,
straightened up.
And I mean the heat around all that coal and around all that. I mean, it's got to be miserable.
Was that down by Aberdeen? Is that what it said? Which golf course it was?
Yeah, actually, Peebly Farms,
Peebly
Aberdeen
Farms,
are right.
okay.
They're right next to each
Mm-hmm.
other. There's a train that runs right through those courses, track, and it actually hit a bridge. Apparently, one of the coal cars clipped a bridge that was built in like 1920.
I know exactly where that bridge is.
I do too.
Yeah,
and it was
I've
going
driven
under
over
and clipped it, and it derailed 24 coal cars.
That's going to be a mess
Oh.
because there's also no easy way to get to where the tracks are there to get in a crane to lift those up.
Yeah, in fact, they'll probably destroy part of the golf course
It's
because I think they got to get to the golf course.
Bad news for golfers, for sure. Good news for commuters because it's so far off 44. You won't affect you. You won't affect anybody but somebody going to the golf course.
Golfing numbers will be down today. I'm guessing very few people, unless you're out there early and be done by like 10 or 11, because trying to play golf today would be just miserable.
Yeah,
Miserable.
even then, if you're teeing off right now, man, you're a better man than I am, or woman for that matter. Yeah. Too hot for that. All right, coming up, we're going to get to the St. Louis Morning Brief. We're going to cover some of those local stories that are impacting you this morning. We got Nicole Murray to see how the markets are looking on this Monday morning. We'll get to In Other News for you, Hans von Spakovsky, and a little later we're going to talk about election issues that affect St. Louis County. I have discussed one of those in my voter guide, which is Prop U. That's on the ballot, but I haven't talked much about Prop C. I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So Dennis Ganal is going to join us with more on that this morning, and he's been looking at these, and he can explain what they are and maybe give you a better idea where to go on that. If you maybe you voted already. I know people who have, but generally we have about a week left to kind of educate people on some of these issues. You can always go to the website, 971talk.com. You can download my voter guide where I talk about these major propositions. It's also pinned to the top of the Facebook page if you're on social media this morning. And I have put it out on Twitter or X several times under @MarkCox971. If you follow me on X, you can find it there as well.
And so should everybody who's listening to this show be doing the same thing on your social platforms. We're getting inundated by no signs on 4 and 5 all over.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they have spent so much money. They're going to outspend 8 to 1, 10 to 1. Again, outside influences, people from outside the state of Missouri who want to keep this open, easy to change your constitution anytime we want something. They can bypass our legislature to get major laws passed, including you gave the long list earlier.
Yeah.
And people just don't get it. I mean, we're getting, you're getting manipulated by all of this media that's on this. They're even cutting ads, making it sound like it's a conservative ad. Have you heard some of them?
I have. It's
unbelievable.
very effective. I've been complaining about that because those are ads running on our own radio station that are pretending that, well,
they don't
this is
trust
gonna hurt
you.
conservatives because 7% of voters in one tiny little district could stop strong conservative issues from being added to the Constitution. Stop. We don't need anything else added to the Constitution. Number one, I can't imagine something's going to come along that's so important that we need to add it to the Constitution. We certainly need to fix a couple things in the Constitution, but we also have the legislature. And I have no problem. They get elected every 2 years. That's the term limit that's there. They have term limits, but in addition to that, every time they go to the polls every 2 years, you have a choice to replace that individual if they're not doing what you want. So I have a little hard time buying that argument. You've got outside forces that are just taking such advantage of us here in Missouri. This is our opportunity to fix it. And it's that simple. So we'll continue to harp on that. I will. I had my show, and I've got a week left before we go back. But
a week from tomorrow. Wow, it's got here quick, hasn't it? Right? Election's a week from tomorrow.
I can't believe it.
I know.
And then as soon as we get done with that one, then we start toward November, right, which is the midterm, supposedly a bigger election. I would argue, though, from a turnout perspective, the one that's coming up in a week is just as important as the one that's coming up in November. We don't have any major election decisions in terms of midterms that are really contested other than CD1, and most people listening to this show don't think they're going to have an impact in CD1 anyway, unless you pull a Democrat ballot and try to vote for Wesley Bell instead of Crazy Corey. I mean, that's your option. That's not an option, right? Whichever one of those two wins the primary is almost a shoo-in because the way CD1 is drawn. It's gerrymandered.
Oh,
that's the best argument to go to an 8-0 map right there.
Yeah, I'm not a Wesley Bell fan, but that's an easy choice. I'm sorry. That is not the worst of two evils. That is keeping one completely evil woman out of office.
Yeah. I've gone a little long here. Let me go ahead and get to the short list.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
Among Democrats, this is that Fox poll, a majority have a favorable view of socialism. Step outside the Democratic Party, it's a totally different world. Look at independence, socialism, deeply unpopular there.
Yeah, they got to. It's okay in the Democratic Party apparently to be a socialist, to think we should socialize private businesses and make them part of the government and raise everybody's taxes and give all the money away to whoever we want. Independents don't like it, and Democrats are going to have some of those votes.
And now we're seeing journalists being jailed. We're seeing journalists having their records sought after, their mothers' phone records being sought after, the White House in charge of who gets to sit where in the briefing room and who gets to go on Air Force One.
Oh, Jim the Accoster is so offended that somebody may be going after Don Lemon, but he was just fine when Donald Trump was attacked mercilessly with this lawfare for the entire 4 years of the Biden administration. But suddenly, Jim's concerned that it's somehow going to come back and impact him. Give me a break.
But just like my presidency, the second time is always better.
Yeah, there you go. It could be the third if you really are counting.
If you decide that you want to start destroying documents after you realize that there's an investigation into the thing you were involved in, that points towards guilt, in my opinion.
Yep, that's the whistleblower that Catherine Herridge, who's one of the best reporters in D.C., she rolled out this interview this week, basically alleging that the government, of course, we know that they knew that the Hunter Biden laptop was real. She's exposing the lengths they went to convince sitting senators and congressmen to leave the issue alone because they wanted to basically deep fake the public into believing the Russians did that, and they didn't want it to damage Joe Biden. The whole interview is about this whistleblower who talks about this secret government that's running that thinks they're smarter than the president of the United States. And a lot of it was happening in the upper echelons of the FBI. They were filtering what information he got. I mean, it's maddening to watch this interview and know this was going on. We'll talk more about it. I've got more sound from Catherine Herridge and the whistleblower. I'll have that for you coming up. When we come back, we'll get to our St. Louis Morning Brief. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We are off to a good traffic start this morning. If you are just headed out, we really are in good shape. So no delays really on eastbound 64 at this hour. It looks good from out west into downtown. We are looking fine on the Illinois side. We are quiet on northbound 55. We also look good through North County at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay full insurance when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
You know when you move into your home and you kind of have the rose-colored glasses on and everything is amazing, and then you live there for a while and you think, actually the layout's not that great, or I don't have enough storage. So the issues always come up. It's pretty natural. And that's when you need to reach out to my friends at Lakeside Renovation and Design. This is a veteran-founded, family-owned company, great family, by the way, and a company, just a solid company that's also going to back up their work with a lifetime workmanship warranty. If you go to lakesiderd.com, you can see all the different things that Lakeside could do for you at your home. Really any sort of project outside, so windows, siding, roofing, any sort of outdoor area that you want to create your own little oasis. But Lakeside also does these stunning custom kitchens. They could finish your basement for you so that you have more usable space to host family and friends. How about a spa-like bathroom? Really, whatever you're dreaming up at your home, Lakeside Renovation and Design can make it happen for you. This is, again, a team that's just going to make sure the job is done right. It's Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're online at lakesiderd.com.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports, and she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working-class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. The $5,000 sweepstakes is back with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St.
Ranger
Louis.
offers
Enter now
over
at OverheadDoorsStLouis.com. Since 1926, celebrating 100 years. The genuine, the original Overhead Door. That's where winners go.
The time now is 6:22, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Looks like there was another drowning in St. Charles County. Marc and Dan are going to talk about it next in the St. Louis Morning Brief.
St. Louis Morning Brief.
Yes, as we were just talking about, in St. Charles County, rescuers were searching for over 3 hours for a missing swimmer last night near Defiance in the Missouri River. That search now resuming early this morning for the body. And this is now, the fifth drowning in the past week. We've seen them at Lake of the Ozarks. We've seen them in St. Charles County. There was one down near Cape Girardeau. What's going on? People need to be aware of water safety this time of year. And number one, the drowning at Lake of the Ozarks, I'm like, why are you swimming at 4:20 in the morning? I mean, alcohol was probably involved. Alcohol and swimming generally don't mix well together, especially when you can't see anything at nighttime.
There are a series of dumb decisions made involving that, but I would also point out that maybe it's probably my perception. I haven't looked at the numbers that there have been more drownings this summer than on average, and a bunch of them happening at like Castlewood. And how many times over the years, as a reporter, did I cover situations where a group of kids were taken down there on a day trip or something by a group? They waded out in that river at Castlewood Park, and that current took them, and they couldn't swim.
And there
were like 5 of them who died one time, all at once.
We had one in Newtown just not too long ago.
Right.
A high school kid, didn't know how to swim and went out on a wakeboard with some friends, and no life jacket. I just, for the life of me, I'm like, this is important education when you're talking to your children and talking to adults. Don't let people do stupid things around you. Try to educate them on the dangers of water. There's no coming back from this, folks. I mean, if you are not an accomplished swimmer, these currents in some of these local streams can be vicious. And Missouri River is the one they're searching right now near Defiance, and that Missouri River is also extremely fast in some parts. And you just have to, be extremely cautious. Use life preservers. Use life jackets. I don't know how much more education can go into this, but we've got to get people more aware of the dangers of water. These are senseless deaths.
I hope people are paying attention to what's going on out there. Are you paying attention to your TV? I don't know if you do or not. My wife used to get so confused about this years ago when Dick Ford was on ABC and suddenly it was Fox, and it wasn't channel. Fox was on ABC, was on channel 30, and like all that switch happened back in the 90s, right there, or the mid 90s, 95. ABC went to channel 30. Well, it was announced this weekend that ABC is now switching to channel 4, but not replacing CBS. So to make it more confusing, channel 4 is still the CBS affiliate, but on one of its sub channels, it's also going to start providing ABC programming on a separate channel from 4. So it'll be like 32.1, but they're going to provide some newscasts for that station.
Which will be just a regurgitation of the same news you're getting on Channel 4.
It'll probably be a lot of the same reporters having to redo their story with a different tag on it, and it will air on what will now be the ABC affiliate, which is a sub-channel of Channel 4.
So does Channel 30 just go away?
I was just going to ask that.
Were you?
Yeah.
I'm like, what happens to 30?
Does it just go away then?
Or do they become a
Channel
WB?
30 is still a commercial TV station. To the best of my knowledge, they make money by playing reruns and things like that. I can't, it's got to hurt them to lose that affiliation. But they were always too cheap to ever run news. They tried once, and it failed miserably. And then
But ABC's getting good numbers on a lot of their shows. They're some of their
Network.
primetime network shows are doing really well.
So that has to hurt.
Yeah, it's got to hurt.
It's got to hurt 30.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, who's going to advertise on a station that doesn't have a major network?
I drove by their lot the other day down here off of 12th Street.
Yeah.
And their lot's empty. Like, I don't even know who works there. Must be an engineer to keep the signal on, but that's about it.
That's about it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we have a train derailment and a cleanup going on at out near Eureka. And this brings up a question that a lot of us don't often think about is, we are so dependent on rail. You have no idea how much cargo railroads move in this country. And we are running on a very old and deteriorating infrastructure. This derailment was caused because one of the coal cars clipped, and I mean just clipped the corner of a bridge that was built in 1920. This bridge, and I know exactly what bridge it is if you've ever golfed out there by the Aberdeen golf course, and it just brought into question for me is how many more old bridges do we have that maybe aren't to the size or to the scale or to the strength that they need to be, and how many more derailments will we begin seeing as this continues to deteriorate?
I remember a story a few years ago where they were trying to replace that bridge that's in question, and for some reason that never happened. I can't remember why.
Well, this might be the impetus to
there
make
was
it
some
happen.
funding or something that fell through. They were going to try to replace that bridge, and for some reason that didn't happen, and now it's been clipped. All right, only going to affect you if you're driving down there to golf this morning, by the way.
Yes.
Coming up, we'll get to Nicole Murray, get you a check of business, and then we've got In Other News at about 6:45.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
If you've been thinking about refinancing, don't let the cost of an appraisal hold you back. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. For a limited time, Golden Oak is offering a credit of up to $600 towards your appraisal at closing. Call today for a free mortgage checkup and see if you could lower your payment, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or put your home's equity to work. But apply by July 31st.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, we look pretty good at this hour. We've got light traffic in general out there, and that's both on the Missouri and Illinois sides. There's major road work, though, scheduled. Crews are going to be doing a closure out west. They are going to close westbound 64 and northbound Route 61 right there at the 70 interchange. And they're going to close those lanes tonight from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. And that's going to go on through July 30th. They're just going to close that overnight. The idea here is that westbound 64 ramp to westbound 70 and eastbound 70 to northbound 61 has to be closed while they put in some serious stuff. So they're doing girder placement and that sort of thing. So you don't want to get caught in that tonight. So just bear that in mind. Again, that will be tonight, and all the way through the 30th. So, not going to be fun, but at least you know in advance. This report is brought to you by i3 Broadband. Summer celebrations are here, and i3 Broadband keeps you connected. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you. Sue Thomas with Traffic, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Maybe all this hot weather's got you thinking you ought to get away, drive to the mountains or something where it's cooler, and you may need an RV if you're doing that. So if you don't have one, or you're considering getting in the market for one, or maybe upgrading, I'm going to recommend my friends at Apache Village. Yes, they've been around for 50 years now. They've got their original location still up there in Hazelwood. Just opened a brand new lot out in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off Highway K, and just on the outer road there of Highway K and 70, and man, is it beautiful. It's something else. The lot is huge, number one. 300 RVs, new and used, at any given time, so you can tell them what you're looking for. There's a good chance they can walk you right to just what you're looking for, and then you can pick from several different floor plans. People have different needs. Some people, need the toy hauler. Some people don't. Some people want a fifth wheel. Well, guess what? They've been rated the number one fifth wheel dealer in America by Jayco, which is one of the big dealers. So you bet when it comes to RVs, Jayco knows what they got going on. Visit Apache Village. Tell them Marc sent you. Got great service as well. They're going to make you a happy camper. Just check them out online at avrv.com.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history. From paper towels to taxidermied animals, you can buy just about anything your heart desires on Amazon. But before becoming a more than $2 trillion company it is today, Amazon sold only one thing: books. In 1994, when the World Wide Web was still in its infancy, Jeff Bezos created the online retailer from his Bellevue, Washington garage. Before long, Amazon changed the face of the retail industry. It redefined how consumers click, how packages are shipped, and how stores operate. The online bookstore became a tech giant, one that continues to change how we shop today.
America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs. Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The 2027 models are arriving, and that means huge savings during the 2026 closeout sale at Apache Village RV. Right now, every remaining 2026 RV is priced to sell, including popular models from Jayco, Forest River, and Keystone. Whether you're looking for a travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome, now is your chance to score a great deal before these models are gone. Don't miss your opportunity to save thousands and get road trip ready for your next adventure. The 2026 inventory won't last long. Shop the closeout sale today at both locations in Hazelwood and AVRV in O'Fallon or ApacheVillageRV.com.
If you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
2026 is a big year for America, and we'll be here with you, celebrating every step of the way. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
You've heard me say this before. You cannot distrust the mainstream media enough sometimes. I got to tell you. So I'm looking this morning for details on this ramming situation in Berlin where the guy drove a van into a pride celebration. I go to Reuters for this story. Here's the headline. Vehicle mows down crowd at Berlin Pride Festival, killing one. Many details remain unclear, including the motive. Police shot the perpetrator dead. Okay? Now, you can go to the BBC if you want to find out what really happened. It was an Islamist terror attack. So the guy, after he mowed down the gay people that he hates, he got out and started stabbing several of them until authorities shot him to death, right, in Germany. It happened in downtown Berlin. So
Reuters did not pick up on any of that fact in their story.
Reuters did not mention the words Islamic terror attack, even though officials have now come out and publicly admitted they think it was an Islamic terror attack, mainly because the guy was screaming Allah Akbar as he was running over people.
What was your first clue?
Well, but still, I mean,
know.
honestly,
it's
why not just be
unbelievable.
honest about it? Why would you try to hide what the motive was here? And for all the people who were, wearing the Gays for Palestine T-shirts in support of Hamas after the October 7th attack, I would ask you to look at this and understand that they would also run over you, just so you know.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's like they're trying to hide the truth from people. I don't get that. That's sad.
Yeah.
What a sad story over there, too.
Don't trust the media.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
awful that they wouldn't admit that more. I just wanted to pass that along in case you hadn't heard what the real apparent motive was behind the guy in Germany that killed at least one person and injured several more in that crowd. All right, let's get to our friend Nicole Murray, please. Good morning, Nicole. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Got Dan Buck in here with me this morning, filling in for the vacationing Kim, who went to Florida to get away from the Missouri heat, apparently.
There you go.
100 degrees
man.
here today. Heat index of 110.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
117 the heat into sea today, probably.
Oh, my gosh. Water.
No kidding. See, Nicole lives not far from the Jersey Shore, so she can run over there and sunbathe and cool off.
Oh, I sunbathed all weekend long. I got compliments on my tan, too. It made me so happy.
She's glowing this morning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good for you. What else is going on out there?
All right. Futures are sharply higher this morning as oil prices fall. Friday, the Dow Industrials gained 235. The NASDAQ down 161. The S&P 500 up 3. Bailey's Range and Bailey's Chocolate Bar will close permanently. The business's owners announced that the last day of service for both restaurants will be Saturday, August 1st. The news comes a month after the building that houses Bailey's Range in the city's Shaw neighborhood was put up for sale. Schnucks will shutter the only warehouse it operates, a facility in Bridgeton that handles less than 10% of its product volume. The Maryland Heights-based grocer announced its plans to close the warehouse in March of 2027. The move will eliminate 64 jobs. A longtime St. Louis Cardinals doctor and orthopedic surgeon claims he is owed $182,500 in unpaid compensation by one of the largest hospital systems in the area. Dr. George Paletta Jr. has sued the St. Louis County subsidiary of Chesterfield-based Mercy, alleging it withheld its paychecks without a termination notice starting in January. Oil prices have plummeted by at least 6% this morning after Iran reportedly said it would suspend attacks if a U.S. pause in hostilities remains in place. West Texas Intermediate up to $83 a barrel, Brent at $89. The Odyssey continues to perform well at the box office. Christopher Nolan scored his second best weekend ever at the domestic box office after the film raked in another $87 million. And finally, a Health Pause survey says the average dog owner is dropping more than $4,200 a year on routine health care. This includes routine vet visits, high-quality food, and preventative medications.
Wait a minute. the average pet owner?
So the article that I found specifically focused in on dogs, just because there are such specific shots and specific food recommendations. So yeah, $4,200 a year.
So the food is $75 a bag. We get one delivered about every 2 months.
Okay.
You can't go to the veterinarian with our 60-pound golden retriever for less than $200. You can't get in the door and back out for less than $200 if she goes there to get shots, or heaven forbid she's eaten something that didn't agree with her digestive system. That's specialized food you have to get, and then you have to get an X-ray, and I mean it just goes on and on. But I don't think I've ever spent an average of $4,200 in a year. That seems high.
I bet you that it adds up. Like what you're describing to me, $85 a bag, $200 per visit.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it adds up quick and you're not even realizing.
Do you board your dog? Like when you go on trips, if you board them, there's several $100 there every time you board them for a week or whatever.
I don't board them. I get nervous. I'd rather have a sitter, individualized for my dog.
But don't you pay that sitter?
Correct.
Yeah, see? So, I mean, you're right. The things you don't think about that add up. Especially like my wife, she puts little costumes on our dog.
Oh my gosh, stop. What kind of costumes?
Well, different. She's got to have different outerwear for different types of weather. It depends on if it's cold, she's got a winter coat for it. It's got a, it's a little Shih Tzu.
What is it?
And it's 14 years old.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, and so, but I have a $500 limit. I hate to say that. People say I'm cruel, but I'm like, growing up, my kids had to take priority, their education, everything else. And I always said, I love my dogs, don't get me wrong. But if it's over $500, love that dog, let's get a new one. I'm just kidding, I know.
Wow, I'm not gonna lie, I'm judging you a little bit.
Judging you,
dude. They
Dan.
wanted to have a double heart surgery for my 11-year-old golden retriever, and the stomach had flipped, and then it had heart issues, and they're like, "Well, we can do this surgery," and it was going to be like $1,900, and I'm like, I'm sorry, the dog has reached its natural life. It was a wonderful life, but as they get older, it's not like you're giving a surgery to a human who's going to live another 50 years, right? What was I buying? Maybe another year, another 2 years? Golden's average life is between 10 and 12 years. So it's like, I was like, I couldn't justify it at the time, It was like my kid's tuition or the dog lives.
Nicole, do you have pet insurance?
I don't have pet insurance, but I also learned about pet insurance 5 or 6 years into having her, where she already had an issue with her knee where the premiums wouldn't have been worth it.
Yeah.
Would you entertain it with a future dog?
Yeah, I would say so. But from what I'm learning, it doesn't affect the cost of regular vet visits in general. It's just if you have some crazy surgery like you're talking about.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. I'll let you know.
All right, cool. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Right, thank you, Nicole. It saved us. When I started work, when our company switched over to what was then Intercom, I go to fill out my health choices in November for open enrollment, and I realized the new company offers pet insurance as part of the benefits package. Right?
Wow!
As an
I've
option.
Never
as
heard
an
that.
option. They don't pay for any of it, but you could buy pet insurance at a really reasonable price, like $15 a paycheck. So I'm like, perfect. I signed up for it, right? And I swear to God, within 9 months, my golden retriever had torn the ligament in her back knee. And then they told us when they fixed that for $2,500 at the time, as soon as it started feeling better, she was going to tear the other one. Within 12 months, she tore the other one. So it was about $5,000 worth of surgery, and thanks to that pet insurance, it probably cost me $700 or $800 out of pocket. That was with the deductible, and then I think it was like 80-20 coverage after that. Wow. So it probably cost me $800 for a $5,000 worth of surgery. So it paid off for us, and we've kept it ever since for that reason, because it only affects critical care. But as you've determined with your dog, if they've got a $1,900, $2,000 surgery, that's going to pay off for you, and you can usually buy that insurance for about $30 a month, something like that.
And doesn't everybody have some limit on their animal?
I would think that makes sense. I agree with you. What
people,
point is the
some
shot
people will
cheaper?
say mine's too low at 500. Maybe now that the kids are raised and we don't have as many bills for the kids and the house is paid for and all that stuff, I might increase that, but not for a 14-year-old Shih Tzu.
The
right?
important question here, Dan, is not what your limit is, but what Holly's limit is. What the person who's buying the sweaters for the dog thinks the limit should be. And my guess is that's a lot higher.
Sounds like Dan's limit's $20. That's way too much.
My guess is that limit is a lot higher.
The dog's 14. How much time can I actually buy? You know what I'm saying? It's
How
like,
can you put a price on time, Dan?
Because I'm not investing $1,000 on a dog that might live another 3 weeks. I'm not. I'm just not doing it.
I'm with you. I'm just giving
All
you
right.
grief. You
And
know
I'm
that.
sure a lot of people are thinking a lot less of Dan Buck now
Dan
because
Buck is
Dan,
so cruel.
He put a $500 limit on his dog. How dare him? Oh, well. It is what it is.
Yep, I
Yeah.
got you. All right, we're going to get to In Other News when we come back. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look still good on the roads. Now, there was a little bit of volume northbound 55 ramping on to northbound 270, but for the most part, we look great. Let's see, there was a report of debris. Where was that? Oh, it looks like they may have gotten that cleared, but it was westbound 70 past 370 in the center lane. So if you happen to be traveling through there, just keep that in mind. Let's see, on the Illinois side, we're still pretty quiet. We look good on the bridges downtown. 5570 and just a little bit slow just east of 203 in the construction zone there, and it's eastbound 5570. But still, for the most part, we're in great shape. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
2026 is an election year, and 97.1 FM Talk will be your home for every twist and turn in the 2026 midterms. 97.1 FM Talk. Keep it here for radio coverage that's 25 years strong.
If you've been told that you need a new heating and cooling system for your home, and if you've gotten prices or you're going to get prices, call me. Try to stay away from the word high efficiency or efficiency. If you replace your system now and it's 12, 15, or 20 years old, you are greatly improving the efficiency just by replacing the old inefficient unit. Do not be fooled. If you want a common sense approach and you just want your house cooled, I will help you. If you're good with that, call me. One easy number. It's Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Registered lobbyist Mike Deering is not the kind of guy you want in the state Senate.
Did you say he was a registered lobbyist?
Sure did. When conservatives like Tricia Burns tried to pass a bill to take back the 300,000 acres in Missouri allowed to be controlled by China, lobbyist Mike Deering testified against it. When conservatives like Tricia Burns fought alongside Missouri cattlemen to require foreign beef to be labeled, lobbyist Mike Deering testified against that too. While conservatives like Tricia Burns are fighting to protect your farmland from being paved over by data centers, lobbyist Mike Deering described Google's Montgomery County hyperscale data center as a
very positive thing.
Deering also endorsed liberal Democrat Chris Koster for governor and openly mocked President Trump. Registered lobbyist Mike Deering, anti-Trump, pro-Democrat, bought out by foreign ag interest, and in love with data centers. Take down data center Deering on August 4th. Vote America First conservative warrior Tricia Burns for state senate.
Paid for by Mo Constitutional Conservative Council PAC, Scott Lady Treasurer.
A collision with a semi-truck changes everything. The injuries, the trauma, the questions. They don't wait, and neither should you. At Kaufman Townsley, we understand how serious trucking accidents are, and we know how to fight for what you deserve. We're from St. Louis. We're in the courtroom when it counts, and we don't stop until justice is served. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
All right, I don't know if you saw the mugshot this weekend, but broadcaster Tony Romo is in a bit of trouble for DUI.
Oh, no.
He got pulled over after leaving a golf tournament, apparently. Now, I'm not defending him drinking and driving, but he did shoot 35 over for the tournament, so maybe that drove him into depression.
Oh, no.
I am just saying.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he should have driven after trying to drown his sorrows. I think the guy is a major broadcaster for the NFL. He's got to be making a couple mil a year, right?
Can't you
Could
call
you imagine?
somebody?
Can't afford it.
Why
Uber,
would
Dan.
you drive? If you made that much money, why would you drive? Like, I can't afford a driver. You can't afford a driver. Tony Romo can afford a driver. And you and I could afford Uber, but Tony Romo could afford to pay somebody whose only job was to drive him from point A to point B. How many people would jump at the chance if Tony said, I'll pay you $100,000 a year to drive me around? And they would jump at that chance.
Do it all day long.
He could pay him cash under the table, right? They'd be thrilled.
Man.
Holy
I'd
cow.
do it. I'll
Thank
drive
you.
him around for $100,000.
Yeah, but he got pulled over and he's got this big sheepish grin on his face in the DUI picture, like in the mugshot. So he's apparently not all that concerned about it.
And he made millions as a Cowboy quarterback before his broadcasting.
He's got all kinds of money.
Exactly.
Even if you're in a different town, you can get a car service that's not Uber.
I know. That's unfortunate.
Hey, Sue, have you ever been to Seattle and gone up in the Space Needle? Mark, have you ever been there?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
I have not.
It's very cool.
I've seen it from a distance.
It's about the size of the arch. It's 603 feet off the ground. And if you get to the top, it's got this beautiful walkway all the way around the outside. And it's got, what do you say, maybe a 8-foot, 10-foot glass wall that goes up?
I think that's about right.
Yeah, and it's just, everything's glass. It's very cool. On Friday night, two dudes go into the Space Needle about 8:50. They close at 9, so they were on the last elevator up. They go into the bathroom and come out wearing helmets and parachutes, and they climb the glass wall and jump off.
Holy.
They climb the wall. The police are still searching for them. They don't know where the base jumpers landed with their parachutes. The popular attraction had about, they said, 75 people who witnessed live them going down, but lost track of them as they got kind of out of sight and around some corners. And they still have no idea who these two base jumpers
that's
were.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That they got away with it.
Yeah, so far
with
they're...
all the cameras around, somebody's going to...
Somebody will see them land and get a
Exactly.
license plate or something, and they'll get busted.
Very interesting, and that it would certainly make your visit a little more spectacular if you were one of those 75 people who got to witness these two guys live jumping over the glass wall.
Here's a story for Ethan and Drew this morning, who's in here with us. A Rhode Island dad has spotted Bigfoot.
Yes.
Just so you know. Came face to face with it while leaving a remote Connecticut cabin on the 4th of July. He did not confirm whether or not alcohol was involved.
It was.
He said it was 8.5 feet tall, covered head to toe in matted, greasy brown hair. It also had no visible genitalia. He said he could not see any boobs. His words, not mine. There were no boobs, he told the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization.
Wow.
But he definitely saw Bigfoot up in Connecticut, just so you know.
But no pictures.
No photos.
There was no photos.
Of course
You
not.
couldn't get the phone out in time.
Of course not. And no boobs. Well, that's good to know.
Well, then I saw him also. I don't have any pictures either.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I don't think I have time for one more, do I? Yeah, I do.
You got 30
Okay,
seconds.
Christopher Hellenthal was a worker at a trampoline park. They had a superhero-themed event. He was wearing a Spider-Man costume. On his way to work, he encountered a man in a wheelchair who could not get across 6 lanes of traffic. Spider-Man jumped to the rescue.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jumped out of his Jeep and pushed the man across. Spider-Man to the rescue in Little Rock, Arkansas.
All right, next hour, we're going to talk about Prop 4, Amendment 4. Stay tuned.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC, Marc Ellinger, Treasurer.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your politician's Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people, and the politician's Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside Forward 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, allowing a minority of the most liberal statewide voters in one district to effectively end our power to stop corruption and out-of-control spending and taxing.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the politicians' Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
The U.S. did not bomb Iran for a third straight night. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, pausing attacks after resuming them for 13 days in a row, allowing talks now to ramp back up. As for reports, the U.S. is concerned about our weapons stockpile. Ambassador to the UN Mike Waltz tells Fox News Sunday.
We have everything we need to conduct this campaign. And this is because of the investments President Trump made right out the gate in our military.
Iran has also paused attacking, but its foreign minister is not happy Ukraine's joined the conflict, saying a deadly attack on an Iranian ship cannot go unanswered.
Ukraine says it targeted a Russian warship and vessels used for transporting Iranian-linked military cargo. But Iran insists it has never intervened in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Kyiv also claims Russia has been carrying out surveillance of U.S. military bases on behalf of Iran.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S.-Iran pause in fighting has oil prices plunging more than 7%, but their recent rise back up has cost us at the gas pump.
The gasoline price cutting lasted 7 weeks, handing consumers back about 71 cents per gallon, but now prices are climbing again. In the past 2 weeks, they're up 22 cents to $4.10 for regular grade.
That's an industry analyst Trilly Lindbergh's survey of gas stations. A manhunt continues in Seattle for a second gunman after a shooting last night at a food festival near the Space Needle. 7 people caught in the crossfire. 3 died.
We believe that we have no outstanding threat to the community. We do have one suspect that is being interviewed.
Assistant Seattle Police Chief Tyrone Davis. In Germany, police tracked down the man who attacked a pride parade Saturday, killing 1, wounding 29.
A 21-year-old German citizen called Abdul B by police of Lebanon origin was shot and killed by police, cornered in another part of Berlin after a nearly 24-hour manhunt.
That's Fox's Greg Palcott. America's listening to Fox News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:03. We've got a balmy 83 degrees and a severe heat warning still in effect with our forecasted high of 99. First responders will resume their water rescue search at Klondike Park, that's near Defiance along the Missouri River in St. Charles County, after they spent nearly 3 hours yesterday looking for a reported missing swimmer. They called off the search at dark and are resuming early this morning. Railroad cleanup crews will continue their work also today, with 24 coal cars derailed off the Pacific Rail line near Eureka. The major coal spill near Peevely Farms Golf Course happened when one of the cars struck an overpass bridge that was built in 1920. The major case squad has been working overtime in the St. Louis region. The first case was a shooting of a 16-year-old in Cahokia Heights on Saturday. That shooting took place in the 1100 block of Camp Jackson Road. The teen was declared dead at the scene. Then early Sunday morning, another deadly shooting in Pontoon Beach. Police responded to shots fired in the 4000 block of Pontoon Road. And that's where they found a 34-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at a St. Louis hospital. Police are asking the help of the public in information on either of those fatal shootings. Anybody with information is asked to call the Major Case Squad or Crime Stoppers at 866-371-8477. In sports, the Cardinals got a gutsy start from Kyle Leahy in the scorching heat at Busch, but the Cardinal bullpen just could not keep the Reds down. They lost in 10 innings, 5-3. The Redbirds host the Cubs, the first of 3 tonight at Busch. First pitch at 6:45. That's your headlines. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a report of a stall southbound 55 past Broadway. Watch for that on the right side. Sounds like it may be on the shoulder. We still generally have light volume out there, so if you're just headed out, things are actually in pretty good shape. And this is both the Missouri and Illinois sides. So far so good this morning. We still look quiet through North County, and eastbound 44 looks good from out west into downtown. And yeah, we are quiet on the bridges as well. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. We'd like to congratulate Barron Mirror Glass and Door. It's their 50-year anniversary. And you don't stay in business that long by not supplying quality products with outstanding service. The key, they say, is their experienced staff. Contact Barron Mirror Glass and Door today and let them show you why 50 years is just a start. Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's Soupy going out the door to a very hot and humid sunny day across St. Louis. 99, 100 degrees. The heat index 110 plus. Slow down, take it easy. Clear, very humid tonight. 79. That's it for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny. It's slightly better. 93. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
7:06, we've got 83 degrees already on the way to that high of 99. As we just heard, a reminder that extreme heat warning is remaining in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. Stay hydrated, stay in the air conditioning if you can. Don't forget to listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show and all the great shows here on 97.1 FM Talk. Anytime, anywhere, all you need to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. It's a Monday. It's hot. I just got to tell you, you already know that if you've been outside. Probably if you looked at your windows and they're all steamed up, you know it's a little hot out there today.
Really.
Remember those, like, we're complaining about this, but I remember years past when we would go 8, 10, 12 days in a row with temperatures above 100. So this summer's not been that bad. Really hasn't.
No, and what's great about it is the heat spells haven't lasted long.
Right.
Like we're getting these 3-4 day bursts, but then it cools off. Like we've got temperatures in the 80s, mid 80s for all of next week, and this coming weekend's going to be gorgeous with a high of like 82, 83. So that which makes it tolerable. When you can look at the forecast and it isn't like 12 straight days of mid 90s, which we've seen before in St. Louis.
Yep.
This summer has been very good in the sense that at least we haven't had long spells of long heat, of high heat.
I would agree. Don't tell Dan it's hot. He went and played baseball yesterday, and in the middle of the day? Is that right?
We had a 10 a.m. start. We were playing at 1 p.m. when it was, I think somebody said it was 98 with the heat indice of 114.
That's crazy.
So it was crazy.
Just crazy stuff. All right, we got good stuff coming up. Hans von Spakovsky coming up in the next segment. We got Ray Bozarth joining us. He is part of the effort to pass Amendment 4, which is to protect the Missouri Constitution. We're going to talk more about what that means and how you counter some of these ridiculous lying ads about Amendment 4. I mean, some of them are running on this radio station. And I've tried to explain it in my voter guide. I'm going to let Ray take a shot at that here at the bottom of the hour for you. And in the next hour, we'll talk more about a couple of these specific propositions that you're going to vote on if you reside in St. Louis County proper in that election. That's 1 week from tomorrow. So we are running short on time. Dan, did you see the interview that Shannon Bream did this weekend with the Democrat Socialists of America?
Just dumbfounding. I mean, the fact she just laid out their agenda and had them openly admit it on camera, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, she just exposed exactly what their agenda is.
Just in case you missed it, I've got to play this for you because I haven't played it yet this morning. And the woman just exposed exactly who they are. And guess what? If you're a Democrat or you know anybody who's a Democrat,
you're embracing this.
This is what is taking over your party. Just so you know, just listen to the insanity from Megan Romer, co-chair of the Democrat Socialists of America. Here you go. Whoops, here you don't go, because I had to turn off my audio earlier because Channel 4's website suddenly auto plays videos now, and you can't do that. So here we go. Let's try this again.
Okay, so we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform, and I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True. Okay, replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
It gets
Abolish
worse.
borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Did you hear that, people?
Here's the other scary part of this that I have for all of you this morning who listen. I know we've got some trolls on the social media pages and here on the text line in the morning who really hate it when I point this out. But there's a guy named Steve Kornacki, and Steve Kornacki works over at CNN, and he was looking at a poll that they did on what Democrats believe. So if you're claiming, well, that's the Democratic Socialists of America, that doesn't represent me, I got some news for you. Listen to this.
This year, and Republicans think that their one chance is the image of the Democratic Party. We've been seeing it in the primary season. Socialists winning Democratic primaries, candidates from the far left. And look at this here. Among Democrats, this is that Fox poll, a majority have a favorable view of socialism. Step outside the Democratic Party, it's a totally different world. Look at independence, socialism, deeply unpopular there. So is that a vulnerability for Democrats that would keep them from capitalizing on Trump's obvious weaknesses here?
Well, it should be.
The first part of what he said was scary stuff. The fact that majority of Democrats look favorably on socialism.
Did you hear what that woman said about what she supports? I listened more in depth because Shannon followed up on several of those points. When they achieve the ultimate kumbaya and we all get along better, and we've taken the money away from the rich people and given it to the poor, then there won't be the kind of pressures on the poor that put them in jail in the first place. So they'll have no reason to commit crimes because there are no crimes in socialist countries. I don't know if you knew that or not. And then once everybody's happy, then we won't need prisons anymore, Dan. There won't be any more rapists or murderers.
Right.
And they only do that because they're poor.
And you have to understand, where does all the money come from for all of their socialism? It comes from everybody. They're not going to, this tax the rich concept that they keep throwing out there, it doesn't sell because guess what? You just heard they're going to dismantle all corporations. Well, there goes a whole bunch of the rich people who will no longer be paying taxes because they're going to make those private companies public companies.
Yep.
Now everybody is going to be paying way more in their taxes. Nothing's free.
It is absolutely insane. And this is kind of where, unfortunately, the Democratic Party of this country is headed. And if the Republicans are smart, they're running sound bites like that at every turn. Like you gotta let people know. Somebody tells you who they are, you gotta believe them. That's the bottom line. All right now I've just handed Ethan the short list, and let's get started, please.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
I do think that Senator Sanders and Democrats in both the House and the Senate understand the stakes that are in front of us, particularly as we are 100 days out.
Oh, yeah. Hakeem Jeffries trying to explain why he and Bernie Sanders don't see eye to eye on everything, and he's trying to get Bernie to pull back on the socialism stuff a little bit, I think, but he didn't want to really admit that.
People that are winning the primaries, they are almost always anti-Israel and then anti-American.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's Federer.
When I hear Chris Van Hollen, a leading Democrat, come out and basically lobby on behalf of Iran, Iran knows what's at stake in the midterms. They need their allies, the Democrats, to win the midterms. So, of course, they want to delay for however long they can what's going on in the Middle East so they could get people like Chris Van Hollen back in power, and then they win.
Yeah, they defund the Pentagon.
we deposed one of their prime ministers. We have killed leadership. We have done so much. So this is not going to, I think, end well for us.
Now, who do you think would say something like that? Would it maybe be part of the deep state intelligence community, John Brennan, who should probably be in an orange jumpsuit anyway? I mean, give me a break. This is one of the guys that started the whole, Hunter Biden laptop lie and all of this stuff. And he's still out there running around free, commenting on everything.
But it's great to be back at a place that I know very well because I built it.
President Trump having a great time. That's why, right there, why he wanted them to hold the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and it's why he wanted them to go ahead the night of the shooting. Like, he wanted to go ahead and do it since everybody was there anyway, because he had all these great jokes prepared.
Yeah, he had digs galore. He had to get them in. Yeah.
So he was happy to reschedule it at a hotel he built so that he could then brag about that.
And it wasn't like his normal generic, the media is evil, the fake press, the fake news. No, he went after people by name, individuals sitting in the crowd. He pulled no punches.
He called them out, no doubt about it. All right, coming up, we'll get to Hans von Spakovsky, our resident legal expert from Advancing American Freedom. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk more about Amendment 4. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looks like we've got the signals on red flash this morning on 141 south of Riverport. Now, traffic is light enough through there that it's not causing a major delay. In fact, we look pretty good on the roads this morning. We've got that light summer traffic, and things look great on eastbound 70 and 64 from out west into downtown. Yep, for the most part, we are really looking good at this hour. No delays on the bridges if you're headed in from Illinois. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Let's talk about your house for just a minute, and the rain and the sun and the heat. All of those things affect regular week paint. And if you've got regular week paint on your house, then every so often you have to repaint it. We know that, right? If, as a homeowner, that's one of the things you face. With Rhino Shield, you don't, because it's 10 times thicker. It's tough as a rhino's hide. It goes on. It forms a protective coating on the outside of whatever is on the exterior of your home. That's the beautiful thing about it. If you bought your house because you like the look of the brick on the outside or the particular maybe wood siding, you can maintain that. You just paint it with Rhino Shield, and it goes on thick, it stays on, and they give you a 25-year guarantee against chipping, cracking, or peeling. I am a satisfied customer. I put it on, and 17 and a half years later when I sold the house, it looked just as good, and I think you're going to have the same experience. Plus, they stand behind their product. How many other products do you know where you get a 25-year warranty? That's pretty good. It is beautifully durable. Call Darren today. Plenty of time to get Rhino Shield on your house this summer. 877-25-RHINO is the phone number, or online at 877-25rhino.com.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
It's Marc Cox. Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and get your air ducts cleaned for $599 per unit. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the savings.
I'm Dan Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, millions of people called us for representation. Why? Because trust grows when you win, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion and counting. When you call America's largest injury law firm, you're calling a family. you're calling an army, our army. You're calling somebody who will fight for you. Injured? Let our family fight for your family. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust, Marc and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Marc and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
The time now is 7:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. We've got Hans von Spakovsky on the line waiting to go, so let's get to him.
You're back with Marc Cox and Kim St. Onge. The Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Hans von Spakovsky, the former emperor of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Hans, good Monday morning to you. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing just fine, thanks.
I'm glad to hear that. I was thinking about you last week because I know you've been off, and we didn't really get a chance to talk to you yet about the illegals that were registered and apparently voting at will up there in New Jersey. I suspect, looking at that there's a lot more to that story than we know. And the company that they claimed had the computer glitch said it wasn't a glitch at all. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, and in fact, that company apparently has had the contract with New Jersey, not just for a year or two, but for literally decades. They've been doing this work. And they said, it wasn't our software that did this. It was the New Jersey DMV.
What does it tell you when you look at a situation like that where, and I mean, I know apparently I didn't realize this, there is some sort of federal system available through which you can filter or check voter registrations. And a lot of states opt not to use it, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And New Jersey is one of those. Look, everyone should keep in mind the 6,600 aliens who were registered were people who actually honestly answered the question on the form when it asked, are you a United States citizen? They said no, and the state registered them to vote anyway. There's a federal system. It's called the SAVE database, not to be confused with the SAVE Act that's up before Congress, okay? And look, this database has been in place for literally decades for state welfare agencies to use to check to see that somebody's really a citizen and is entitled to public assistance. And states started using it to verify citizenship for voter registration. That is, places like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, red states. New Jersey refuses to do that. So, 6,600 who answered honestly. But, Mark, what we don't know is how many aliens said, oh, yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen, and also got registered. I have no doubt that's also a large number in New Jersey.
And if they're not comparing databases, you'd have no idea, right? You wouldn't have a clue.
Right, exactly. And anybody who thinks this doesn't happen, maybe they remember the illegal alien who ended up a school superintendent in Iowa, who was arrested, right, because he's in the country illegally. He was registered to vote in Maryland, where he also used to work in the schools there.
It's amazing. What you've committed your life to studying here, Hans, is the rule of law. And I did an interview. I played an interview earlier that Shannon Bream did yesterday with the leader of the Democrat Socialists of America. And among the things that she wants to do is close prisons and open the borders. She wants amnesty for everybody, right. and she doesn't want any consequences for breaking the law. But she thinks there won't be any more law breaking once all of their socialist policies are put in place, because then everybody will be happy.
That is so ridiculous. All you got to do is look at, basically she wants to turn us into the former Soviet Union or the current communist China. I mean, that's their view on all of these issues. And it's not only silly, but it's dangerous.
Yeah, and you know, and kind of a unrelated, in Illinois, you saw that Illinois judge, David Dugan, who ruled that Illinois can no longer allow undocumented immigrants to pay the in-state tuition at the public colleges.
I did see that.
And universities. Unconstitutional and invalid was his ruling. How was this even occurring? They were giving, basically huge breaks for illegal immigrants to go to colleges in Illinois at taxpayer expense.
Well, yeah, but look, the story's even worse. In the 1980s, Congress amended federal immigration law that said, it's very simple. It says, if you provide in-state tuition to illegal aliens, you have to provide the same in-state tuition to all U.S. citizen students. In other words, you can't charge out-of-state tuition, like if you're in Illinois, to kids who come in from California. No administration, the Bush administration, nobody enforced that law until who? The Trump administration came in and they finally started enforcing it. The law's been on the books for more than 3 decades.
Well, I see a class action lawsuit right there. A bunch of people who've been paying out-of-state tuition saying, hey, you were giving it to illegals. We were paying out-of-state tuition costs. We want the difference paid back to us. And they would have I think they would have a strong case.
Yeah, they should. And it's another sign of how they were Illinois and other states were treating illegal alien students much better than citizen students.
Wow, somebody's about to start paying college tuition again for my daughter who leaves for college next week. Maybe I need to look into that just to make sure that state is not doing that.
So
yes,
you think
do.
Pritzker in Illinois will challenge that? We think they'll appeal it?
He can try, but I can guarantee you he'll lose.
Yeah, instead, they don't mind spending our money for a frivolous defense of a bad law that they made, allowing these illegals to get this in-state tuition. Unbelievable.
That's true. Hans, great to have you on, my friend. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
You bet. We'll talk next week. Good to get him on here. Coming up, we're going to talk about the election. That's a week from tomorrow. And if you've still got doubts in your mind about Amendment 4 because you've heard some of the ads that are running, well, not on this station, on TV, about it. I'm watching one right now up on the screen here claiming that only politicians and lobbyists support Amendment 4, and nothing could be further from the truth. We're going to get to Ray Bozarth, who's part of the campaign that's running the pro-Amendment 4 ads on our station and others to get the truth out there. We'll get to that when we come back. Stay tuned.
The Marc Cox Morning Show, on the air and streaming at 971talk.com.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Tricia Burns never answers the call. Tricia Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Tricia Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Tricia Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Tricia Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Tricia Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bullpack paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you could all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that, if you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We've had just a typical summer vacation commute this morning, and that means things look pretty good. But there's a little bit of volume out there. It's moderate. Northbound 270 headed for Doherty Ferry up past Manchester, and northbound 270 starting to slow right at 70. On the Illinois side, it's road work causing delays eastbound 5570, and that's mainly as you head for 111. We are still quiet through North County. We look pretty good up there, and there are no delays on the bridges downtown. We're in good shape as far as that goes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Hey, you want to get together and hang out for a little while? We're going to do it on coming up Tuesday, the 11th of August, out at the Doubletree in Chesterfield again, along with our friends from the Retirement Advisory Group. And Bob and Tammy Kershaw are going to be there as well. You're going to love getting to know them, but more than anything, you're just going to get a little bit of education. I think it's always better to know more than less certainly about retirement in this case. And Annie Fry and Mark Reardon and I will all be out there. We'll be just kind of chatting with people about whatever it is you want to talk about. We get a chance to meet you in person, which is great. And then we usually fill the room with 97.1 listeners who give Bob and Tammy about 45 minutes of their time. They provide some of the great cookies that they have out there at the Doubletree and something to drink, and you can just take some notes. And if you want to meet with them afterwards, you can. There's no pressure at all. It's just really an information meeting to find out what the risks are to your retirement savings once you're retired and how you can mitigate that, how you can build a structured income. They help you in so many different ways. When can I afford to retire? How much income am I going to have? These are all questions I'm sure that you probably have. So call them at 314-993-9494. It's free. They just need a head count. Again, August 11th, Doubletree Chesterfield at 6:30, 314-993-9494, or go online to retirementkey.com.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC, Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports, and she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working-class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
250 years of capitalism, private ownership, and rugged individualism. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
All right, welcome back. Dan and I were just talking in the commercial break there because we got he and I were talking about Trisha Burns and the ads that are running on our station right now that talk about her playing tricks on the suicide hotline. If you missed my interview with her last week, by the way, go back and look for that on the podcast. Because I wanted to have her on to spell out the truth about that, because what they pay for in these ads and the lies they tell. She didn't play a trick on the suicide hotline. She was with a couple of other legislators because they were testing it, because they were told that it didn't work properly. And after they made the phone call, it took an hour and 20 minutes before anybody responded to their message they left on the suicide hotline. That's not doing anybody any good if they're about to commit suicide.
They actually had a member from the company that does the hotline. Remember?
Yes,
they wanted to show them that there was no human being on the end of this suicide hotline. You need to talk to somebody. You need to be able to get to a human being. She was simply showing that as an example, and they turned it into like she was running a prank call on them.
I know. What they can get away with in these ads is incredible.
Same with the amendments.
Yes.
I mean, it's just they make it sound like it's a conservative voice talking against Amendment 4 and against Amendment 5. And I'm like, this is the... If you're conservative, you've got to be yes on both of those issues.
Repeat a lie enough times and people start believing it, and that is a winning strategy for these big out-of-state groups that want to influence the Missouri Constitution. That's why it's so important that we vote yes on Amendment 4. I've got Ray Bozarth with me this morning. He's with the group that is in favor of us passing Amendment 4, and they've got their own ads running these days, and I'm glad to hear that. Ray, good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
Thank you for giving me a minute this morning, and let's talk a little bit more about Amendment 4 and why you're in support of it.
Well, I've been tracking this since 2018 when Clean Missouri came to town. A nice sounding name, right? Basically, liberals in D.C. and all over the country figured out that Missouri had a very low threshold for amending our state constitution. What a deal, right?
Sure.
You can't get folks elected to the state legislature. Can't get bills passed. You can't get folks elected to attorney general, governor, secretary of state. Well, hey, guess what? I have a deal for you. You give us millions of dollars. We will pay signature collectors to go out and get signatures, get something on the ballot. We'll pay for all these slick ads. And, hey, we might even have a judge give us some funky language that,
confuses.
That confuses folks or just completely lies.
Yeah, that's a better word.
And, I don't understand how a judge can say that abortion is reproductive health care. I don't know what's reproductive about abortion. But that's just one of many examples. And they get these initiative petitions passed, they get into our Constitution, and our elected legislators can't do anything about it. And so thankfully, Governor Kehoe called a special session. Kudos to Governor Kehoe for having the guts to get this done. For years, the state legislature has been, arguing about how to get this done. Well, Governor Kehoe said, we're going to do it. Here it is. And now we got it. Amendment 4, it gives us a chance to restore sanity to our Constitution, which, by the way, has 126 amendments. It's over 200 pages long. And this is a process now where if this passes, Amendment 4, these campaigns have to go to every single part of the state. Now, we love St. Louis. We love Emo's Pizza, St. Louis style pizza, but out in other parts of the state, folks don't really campaign. And so, if you live in rural Missouri, you never see signature collectors. You don't need to. Your vote doesn't matter, and these amendments get approved and put in the Constitution. Well, Amendment 4 says you have to campaign in every single part of this state in order to amend our Constitution, which it's much more similar to the process the way the U.S. Constitution's amended. There's only about 27 amendments. We have 126 amendments. This is chaos. Amendment 4 restores sanity.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And the amount of money that's been spent on this, I mean, you guys are doing your best here. I'd guess that just like a lot of these issues, you might get outspent 5 or 10 to 1.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine. Our language on the ballot makes sense. Voters like it. You got to get majorities in every congressional district to amend the Constitution, and every voter has to have access to a full text of the initiative petition. Some of these initiative petitions are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pages long, and the voter, my poor mother, looks at the ballot and calls me and says, "What is this?"
Sure.
So I have to explain it to her. But this ensures that every voter has access to a full text of the initiative petition. But yeah, we're getting outspent. That's fine. George Soros. See, people hear George Soros, a lot of your listeners, and think, oh, that's conspiracy talk. No, this is real. This is true. It's traceable. The Open Society nonprofit, Open Society, that sounds great. Well, that is steered by George Soros and presumably his son, Alex Soros, who's married to Huma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's former assistant. Very lovely. These people are rewriting our Constitution. And so they're pouring millions of dollars in. Nonprofits, I think the bulk of the donations against us are from nonprofits of 6 figures. And so opponents are saying this is citizen driven. Well, by golly, how about these citizen nonprofits that are donating?
Yeah.
I mean, this is so grassroots, Mark, you can taste it.
Well, and that's how they're trying to make this perceived. Where does the funding come for the Yes on 4? Who is supporting that locally?
Well, we have a great coalition. I would argue this is the best coalition I've ever seen. I've been working in politics, Missouri politics, for 15 years. We have conservatives, we have farmers from across the state who are tired of seeing the way our Constitution is treated. So Missouri Farm Bureau are endorsers. All the commodity groups are endorsers: corn, soy, pork, cattle. A little group by the name of Missouri Right to Life, Americans for Prosperity, MOGOP unanimously approved a resolution to endorse this, and the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. So you're talking about your local conservative activist, your local farmer, and your local business owner. Because what the chamber sees, endless minimum wage increases and mandatory paid sick leave on the horizon. And those initiative petitions will not be written by someone who's ever run a lemonade stand, let alone a business.
I love that. I love that point.
It's just chaos, Mark.
Ray
chaos.
Bozarth, our guest with the Pro Amendment 4 campaign. Before I run out of time here, Ray, how I hear the ads. They're running these ads on our station, clearly deceptive, trying to convince people that they're approaching this from a conservative point of view and that somehow conservatives are going to be strapped down and unable to pass important conservative issues if this becomes law, because a tiny percentage of people in one district could stop that from happening. I mean, how do you counter that argument? Because I got people on Facebook arguing with me over it, and I'm like, you got to look at the bigger picture here. When is the last time you had a major conservative issue like that we had to go through the Constitution to get it instituted?
Oh, goodness. Well, I would say probably the Hancock Amendment was a good example. But
25 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's about right. the legislature, here's the great thing about our legislature. Every 2 years, they go to voters and say, how am I doing? I cannot think of a more responsive process. So if these legislators were to do something that their voters don't like, every 2 years they have a say on their reelection. And so this is I do not understand what some of our friends on the right, Mark, are hoping for through the initiative petition process, because they're not out there raising millions of dollars, putting stuff on the ballot, running slick ads. It's George Soros, it's Planned Parenthood, it's every other godless heathen from LA to DC. It's not our friends who, for some reason, are supporting the initiative petition process. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they're hoping to get passed, and I don't know what they're afraid of the state legislature doing.
Yes.
You know, Bill Eigel, he did a lot of fine work in the state legislature. That's who has a say on bills coming out of the General Assembly.
Yeah. It's a great point. Ray, just remind people, is there a website they can go to for the truth on this issue?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. ProtectElectionIntegrity.com. Yes on 4. I appreciate all the work you're doing. Thank you.
You bet, Ray. Great having you on. Thanks for giving me some time this morning.
Yep, thank you,
I
Mark.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Man.
He's right. I love what he said there. Every godless heathen from coast to coast is trying to influence Missouri's Constitution.
Well, and people have to understand that the Democrats are the ones who are using this petition process to get their agendas
around.
They're ramrodding it down our throats because
Yeah.
they can overwhelm the vote in the metropolis areas.
Yep.
That's what every Republican has to understand. The Republicans can get things passed if it makes sense, and if it should be a constitutional amendment, we should be able to get the city and both
and everybody, if it's important enough.
If it's important
Yes.
enough and it's good for the state of Missouri overall, we should be able to get it through. They're saying, well, we'll never get anything through if Kansas City and St. Louis can block it. Well, that's exactly what they're doing to us. They are able to take Kansas City and St. Louis voters and ramrod stuff down our throats through this process, and we've gotten what we've gotten. We've gotten the most aggressive abortion bill, abortion amendment in the world.
Yes.
It's horrible.
It's crazy.
We've got to stop that. This is not an open document, okay? It should be very, very difficult to change the constitution of a state.
Yep, that's
and
right.
we've made it way too easy.
You're absolutely right. We're going to get to a quick break. We'll be back with the buck stops here. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not a bad commute this morning. If you are just headed out, we've got some volume in the usual areas. And one of those would be on northbound 270, especially as you head mainly from Doherty Ferry on up through the Clayton Road overpass. And once you get past there, things look fine. We've got a little bit of volume here and there in some of the other usual areas. But southbound 170 is slow, headed down just south of 270. Expect some volume through there. Eastbound 70 still looks great. Forestell into downtown. Moderate volume now on eastbound 64. Approaching 170 through Big Bend, and westbound is lined up just about Hampton out through Hanley. On the Illinois side, a little bit of volume every now and then on the Poplar, but for the most part, it is in good shape. This report brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
All right, my friend Gloria Lou would love to help you sell your house, and she'll put it in writing that if she doesn't sell it, she'll buy it from you. How about that? That's the kind of peace of mind you need when you're selling a home, because let's face it, for most of us, it's your biggest investment. You need a little extra cash out of that in order to buy the next one. You need your equity, so you want the guarantee that goes along with Gloria Lou. Just call her up and ask her. I mean, she named her business Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. and she stands behind that. She helped me sell my house 2 years ago. She's got a list of people looking to buy in your neighborhood. She can get you cash offers if you're trying to sell your house in a hurry because of a job transfer, something like that. She'll also promise to sell your house for 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. If you have questions, call Gloria. You're not under any obligation to have a phone call. If you're in the sound of my voice, here's the number, 314-325-6888. Call Gloria up. Tell her you heard Marc Cox talking about her and what a great person she is, and you have a few questions. Or you can go online anytime to gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs. St. Ben Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. St. Ben Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your politician's Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people. And the politician's Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside Forward 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, allowing a minority of the most liberal statewide voters in one district to effectively end our power to stop corruption and out-of-control spending and taxing.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the politicians' Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. The buck stops here.
Okay, so today's musical magic comes from a fun little parody that I saw online to the famous Frank Sinatra tune, New York, New York. It takes a humorous poke at Mayor Mandummy and his socialist agenda. You're going to love this one, folks. This is a little clip from New York, New York.
New York, New York, I want to wake up in a city that feels like home, and not with defunded police, migrants galore, man-dummy run grocery store.
Man-dummy.
Thinks he's a genius. LC with a penis. It's time to stick a fork in it. New York, you're done. Soon the tax base will be gone to Boca Raton while town becomes commie town.
Oh,
Love it.
You can catch the whole tune at Recharge Freedom. Just check out Recharge Freedom on X, and you can catch the whole New York, New York. Beautiful song. That sounded like Tony Bennett, didn't it?
It did. The guy sounded good, didn't he?
Really, really good. Well, anyway, while the socialists figure out how to take control of more parts of your life and get the gullible young people to turn over all their needs to the almighty government, Republicans and conservatives are doing just the opposite. Many of the people on the right, they see the moral decay and the poor decisions of our government-controlled institutions, especially when it comes to educating their kids. Get this, Mark. A new report shows that a massive jump in the number of families who have finally had enough of the woke, liberal-driven public school system. Did you know that in 2001, just 25 years ago, that the total number of homeschooled kids was 1 in 59 in America? Today, it's 1 in 16. It has more than quadrupled just in the past 25 years. Almost 7% of American children are now being homeschooled compared to just under 2%.
People are tired of it.
Dude, they're so tired of it. And the reasons why is pretty evident and pretty clear. It's because one of these 1 in 16 families, it's because of what they're seeing, not just the critical race theory and the gender ideology and, of course, the schools that are hiding things from parents, but they're looking at the results of what our school system is all-time lows. And this comes from our very own Department of Education. The U.S. Department of Education reports that of all high school seniors, only 22% of them are math efficient and up to math speed. 45% of seniors cannot do basic math.
Wow.
Arithmetic.
That's incredible.
Science, only 22%. Reading, only 35% of American seniors in high school can read at grade level. 35%. So families are saying, we're taking this on ourselves. We're going to educate our kids. And if you're athletes, now that the club sports world, so many kids can do it on their own. They can still get all the sports they want and get a better education at home.
That's a great point, Dan. Thanks.
Awesome.
Hey, we're going to talk more about the St. Louis County elections coming up.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
It's quieter in the Middle East. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. No American attacks and no Iranian retaliation after bombing had resumed for 13 days in a row. Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
For the past 3 nights, the United States has halted strikes against Iran, but the White House is making clear the military option remains on the table as the administration is exploring a variety of options moving forward with both diplomacy and intense economic pressure. The U.S. naval blockade does remain in effect, costing the regime hundreds of millions of dollars per day.
But while the U.S. and Iran paused the fighting, Ukraine's gotten involved.
Iran's foreign minister says a Ukrainian attack on an Iranian commercial vessel cannot go unanswered. Abbas Araghchi was talking after an explosion in the Caspian Sea killed one sailor and injured another. Ukraine says it targeted a Russian warship and vessels used for transporting Iranian-linked military cargo.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. With the U.S. and Iran pausing and attempts to get back to negotiating, oil prices are plunging, down 6%. Brent crude back to $90 a barrel. Last week it hit 100 again. At the gas pump, though, prices up 11 cents from last Monday. President Trump may talk about all that later today when he goes to Michigan to discuss the economy and visit a GM facility ahead of next week's primaries.
Voters in Michigan will choose nominees for open Senate and governor's races and pick candidates across all of Michigan's 13 congressional districts. Trump won Michigan in 2016 and 2024, so both parties see this as a critical state to win over.
Fox's Alex Hogan. The manhunt continues in Seattle for a second gunman after last night's shooting sent people panicking and running away from a food festival near the Space Needle. 7 people caught in the crossfire. 3 died. Assistant Seattle Fire Chief Tyrone Davis.
We do have one suspect that is being interviewed. We've recovered 2 guns.
A 2-year-old boy among the 4 injured. He's now in stable condition. America's listening to Fox News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 8:03 and 84 degrees with a severe heat warning still in effect with a forecasted high today of 99. First responders resuming their water rescue search on Klondike Park down near Defiance, Missouri. That's along the Missouri River in St. Charles County after spending nearly 3 hours yesterday looking for a missing swimmer. They called off the search at dark and are back out there this morning. Railroad cleanup crews will continue their work today after more than 24 coal cars derailed off the Pacific Rail lines near Eureka. The major coal spill near Peevely Farms Golf Course happened when one of the cars struck an overpass that was built in 1920. The Major Case Squad has been working overtime in the St. Louis region this weekend. The first case was a shooting death of a 16-year-old in Cahokia Heights on Saturday. That shooting took place in the 1100 block of Camp Jackson Road. The teenager was declared dead at the scene. Then early Sunday morning, another deadly shooting in Pontoon Beach, where police responded to shots fired and found a 34-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at a St. Louis hospital. Police are asking the help of the public in both of those fatal shootings. Anybody with information is asked to call the Major Case Squad or Crime Stoppers. In sports, the Cardinals got a great start from Kyle Leahy in a scorching day at Busch Stadium, but the Cardinals bullpen could not keep the Reds down. They lost in 10 innings, 5-3. The Redbirds will now host the Cubs in the first of a 4-game series at Busch Stadium. First pitch at 6:45. That's your headlines. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Report of a stall. This was southbound 170, south of 270 in the right lane, and I don't see it now. I'm not sure whether they got it cleared, but there's a little bit of moderate volume in that area. We've got westbound 64, a little bit of moderate volume at Hampton, eastbound at Big Bend. If you're headed in from Illinois, we're fine on the bridges, but 5570 eastbound slows at 111. And there's a little bit of volume northbound 270, Doherty Ferry up through the Clayton Road overpass. But for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. We look fine on the bridges on the Illinois side, and Route 3 is actually looking good as well. This report brought to you by i3 Broadband. i3 Broadband says summer celebrations are here, and they can help you keep connected. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio. And do it today, or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade today, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you. Sue Thomas with traffic, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's Soupy going out the door to a very hot and humid sunny day across St. Louis. 99, 100 degrees. The heat index 110 plus. Slow down, take it easy. Clear, very humid tonight. 79. That's it for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny. It's slightly better. 93. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's sneaking up on 8:07. We've got 83 right now, on our way to a high of 99 again. That extreme heat warning is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight, so be cautious. Don't forget to take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you, and you can listen to all the great shows here on 97.1 FM Talk. All you need to do is go out there and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot. Oh, can you tell me what it feels like? Fool, it's hot. I told you again. When you're born in the sun, it's damn hot.
It's hot, baby. No doubt about it. The sun is up, and it's makes Dan Buck want to get out and play baseball, apparently. I don't get it, but you going out again today?
I got pickleball tonight, pickleball tonight, and then baseball tomorrow night. So tomorrow's supposed to be another scorcher.
But oftentimes at these big pickleball clubs, you can play pickleball indoors,
No,
right?
we're outdoors.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
our club is outdoors. It'll be pretty.
I'm sorry for you.
You bring a change of shirt for that one for sure.
Trying to help. Well, being the former reporter that I was, I should say, Dan, please don't go outside.
Yes.
And whatever you do, don't go outside and drink alcohol.
Well, I blew that one already.
I know.
Yeah. I mean,
Ain't
nobody
got time for that.
At least I waited until after the game, right? And then the cool down moment. And by the way, that cold beer might have been the nicest tasting cold beer ever on the planet that I've ever had after playing. Gosh, it was so hot. I mean, it was because we're 60 and over league, right? We're all old guys. It was like 30 zombies out there. It was everybody. We're going through shaking hands at the end. I felt like I was shaking corpses' hands. Like
Holy cow.
These guys were so wiped out. And we beat them like 15-5 or something.
Did they have ambulances on standby for you guys out there or what?
No,
Oh, man.
Like, gosh, I'm like,
Well, I'm glad you're safe.
We made it. I made it in here safe and sound.
Use common sense.
There
We've
you
been
go.
through this before here in town. We had a great show this morning so far. If you missed it, you need to go back and hit the rewind button on the Odyssey app, or go back and listen to the podcast. Drew's putting that together for you We interviewed Ray Bozarth last hour from the Pro Amendment 4 campaign, kind of telling you the truth about our Constitution and why we need to protect it, and all these lies that are going around in these ads, even among conservatives. I'm getting this feedback from some people who are otherwise conservative who don't think it's a good idea to protect our Constitution. I don't understand it. And some of their argument, Dan, seems to be, well, I support the idea, just not doing it this way. Well, it's taken years to get this on the ballot. How much more damage will you let the left do to our state before we fix this problem? So don't come to me and say, well, they could have done it in a different way and then I would have supported it. No, this is our chance to fix this problem. Don't whine that they didn't adopt the method you wanted. The point is, this puts a higher threshold on amending the Constitution. So I would ask you to go back and listen to Ray's interview on this, Ray Bozarth, in the last hour. I think he did a good job with it.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about in that interview, though, was this doesn't stop us from getting good, common sense, conservative laws passed, but you do it through the normal legislative process. You don't go to your state constitution every time you want something changed.
Every time you're mad that the legislators wouldn't do something, mostly these are liberal activist groups that are mad that there's a Republican supermajority in Jeff City, and they've tried to do an end run around it, unfortunately, successfully, because we have a system that allows you to buy your way into the Constitution, and they go to the Planned Parenthood people and the National Education Association and all these other groups that are donating millions of dollars to defeat Amendment 4 and Amendment 5.
Because they want to keep this gravy train going. They want to keep this ability to change our laws through this referendum process versus the legislative process. That's why we have lawmakers. They're supposed to be the ones writing the laws, not changing our Constitution and bypassing our legislative process.
Yep, I would agree with that completely. I will say that coming up, we're going to talk to Dennis Ganal, and he's talking about the propositions, not just the statewide amendments, but the propositions that are going to be on the ballot in St. Louis County specifically, and we'll get to that at the bottom of the hour. Somebody did mention on the text line, by the way, 314-241-9797, that they were wondering why I wasn't talking about Amendment 3. Well, here's the bottom line. Amendment 3 isn't on the ballot till November. And what we've been hyper-focused on is what's going to happen in a week. A week from tomorrow is Election Day. People are already voting. I understand that. But Amendments 4 and 5 and the other two that are on the statewide ballot, it's all covered in my voter guide, are being voted on next Tuesday. Amendment 3 isn't going to be voted on until November. So I'll have plenty of time to talk to you about Amendment 3 after we pass 4 and 5, hopefully. So that's why we're not talking about Amendment 3 just yet. I have talked about it some, but it'll get a lot more focus after the primary is over, I should say. We'll get to all that for you. Right now, we want to get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
Abolish the Senate. True. Okay, replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep.
Yep. Those are the radicals that have taken over the Democratic Party, just in case you're wondering. Democratic socialists who won Democrat primaries in at least 3 or 4 states. There's one running here in St. Louis. Her name is Cori Bush. These are the people who want to abolish the Senate and the presidency.
The Supreme Court
who are running for office as Democrats. Why are you letting this happen?
Innocent, hardworking, American dream seekers are the ones who are being victimized. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the cartels exploit them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's why they are doing that. That was Geraldo Rivera, who's complaining about migrants being taken advantage of by drug cartels. I don't know where you've been, Jerry, but that's been happening for a long time.
In my opinion, for both sides to have credibility in the elections, we need to do 2 things and only 2 things. Number 1, you have to prove you are who who you say you are. And number two, we need to go back to having an election day, not an election month.
Thank you, John Kennedy. Bring up the applause. That is fantastic. And he was trying to school Margaret Brennan, which he did on that issue.
We do not want this deed to be instrumentalized for political ends. We don't want any groups to be placed under suspicion for this. People are trying to divide our society and set some people against others. As the CSD in Berlin, we will not allow this.
I had to play that for you. So this weekend, if you missed the headline, a radical Islamic terrorist drove a van into the gay pride parade in Berlin. They had a festival set up and they were celebrating pride, had the multicolored flags, the rainbow flags everywhere. A radical Islamic terrorist drove a van into that, killed one person with the van, and then got out of the van while screaming Allah Akbar and started stabbing people. But if you read the Reuters story about it, it doesn't mention that it was somebody connected to radical Islamic terrorism because they don't want to single out any group. Well, it's very clear what the motive was. It's the fact that Islam calls for gay people to be murdered or thrown off tall buildings. That's the truth. Are they trying to hide that? And then, in the middle of all of it, the group that was targeted in Germany, this is one of the problems with Europe. To a lesser degree, a problem here in America. The group that was targeted held a news conference and said, we don't want any particular group to be called out for this because they might be targeted too. Well, I got news for you. Radical Islam is going to keep targeting you and keep throwing you off buildings and keep murdering you. Why would you not want attention to be called to that? It's tough to understand that through you have to get a translator to hear them say it, but they're just in complete denial about what's gone on there, Dan.
But I am glad to see the LGBTQ community come out so strongly against this kind of Muslim hatred towards their people.
We don't want to do that
because they're not talking about that at all, are they?
Better than that,
I haven't heard one person come out and condemn that kind of Muslim attack.
There's another one on here, and I wish I could play it for you, but it's not translated by a translator. It's only translated in the script. Another one came out and said that after it happened, she was praying that it was a white Christian that did it. But unfortunately, it wasn't. That's what she was focused on. She'd have been happier if it was a white Christian that did it, but now she's found out that it's a radical Islamic terrorist. She's not as happy about it.
When you read the Reuters story out loud in the last segment, I immediately thought to myself, that could be a white nationalist, or could be somebody there who was just against LGBTQ and could have been a Christian, whatever. That got me thinking about that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they want you to do. They want you to not know the fact that this was a Muslim extremist who not only ran them over with their cars, but then got out of the car and started stabbing people.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
And this thing was updated this morning, too, on Reuters, and did not mention the fact that radical Islam was involved in it. Unbelievable. All right, we'll get to a quick break here. We got plenty more to go for you, and we're going to get to Dennis Ganal talking about Prop C and Prop U in St. Louis County at the bottom of the hour.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not bad on the roads. Northbound 270, a little slow at Doherty Ferry. We've got eastbound 64, a little bit of volume there approaching 170. But other than that, we look pretty good. We look good out west. On the Illinois side, we look fine on the bridges, but 5570 eastbound is slowing at 111 due to road work. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
There were some areas where some storms moved through, and I guess with all this heat, you could see some more pop-up storms through the day. It's not going to relieve the heat a whole lot, let's put it that way. But I will say that if you have a basement that leaks, you worry about that. A pop-up storm could mean water in your basement. Quit worrying about that. Call Home Shield Foundation Repairs today. And here's what Matt Hayes, who runs the place, is promising to you, that he's going to give you a 24-month same-as-cash financing if you qualify. So you get 2 years to pay for it. You take your time. You're not being penalized, but you get the work done today. And that way you don't have to sweat it the next time a thunderstorm pops up somewhere near your house. They can do waterproofing of cracks. They can do drain tiles if need be. They can put in a sump pump if you don't have one already, or they can make recommendations on better sump pumps if you do have one, but you still have water problems. Matt's got this figured out. He's a specialist in foundations. He's been doing it for years and years, and he is the local owner of this company. 314-271-9900 or online anytime. Tell him Mark sent you. Go to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Registered lobbyist Mike Deering is not the kind of guy you want in the state Senate.
Did you say he was a registered lobbyist?
Sure did. When conservatives like Tricia Burns tried to pass a bill to take back the 300,000 acres in Missouri allowed to be controlled by China, lobbyist Mike Deering testified against it. When conservatives like Tricia Burns fought alongside Missouri cattlemen to require foreign beef to be labeled, lobbyist Mike Deering testified against that too. While conservatives like Tricia Burns are fighting to protect your farmland from being paved over by data centers, lobbyist Mike Deering described Google's Montgomery County hyperscale data center as a
very positive thing.
Deering also endorsed liberal Democrat Chris Koster for governor and openly mocked President Trump. Registered lobbyist Mike Deering, anti-Trump, pro-Democrat, bought out by foreign ag interest, and in love with data centers. Take down data center Deering on August 4th. Vote America First conservative warrior Tricia Burns for state senate.
Paid for by Mo Constitutional Conservative Council PAC, Scott Lady Treasurer.
License number GL250000615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do, until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
If you've been thinking about refinancing, don't let the cost of an appraisal hold you back. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. For a limited time, Golden Oak is offering a credit of up to $600 towards your appraisal at closing. Call today for a free mortgage checkup and see if you could lower your payment, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or put your home's equity to work. But apply by July 31st.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
The time now is 8:22, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Did you know you can watch us on YouTube? All you got to do, just go to the 97.1 FM Talk YouTube page. You can watch two of the best-looking guys in politics.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
All right, thank you, Reverend Al. We always appreciate you. Appreciate that. You see where Reverend Al showed up at that drowning case involving it was a young African American who was out on a boat on some island, and the boat left without him, and then he was found floating in the water, and they're trying to act like he was murdered. Whenever you see Al Sharpton show up at an event, you can know they're trying to racialize it, even though he was out there with 4 of his buddies who were all white, is how he got there.
Yeah.
So I'm always amazed when I see that. That Benjamin Crump showed up as well, because anytime he smells money, he shows up at a scene. So I just thought I'd play some Al for you there this morning. Here's an interesting story I found in the Post-Disgrace, because you've heard me say already, because I have not seen. If I have missed this, call me out. But I've yet to see the Post-Dispatch question who's funding the anti-Amendment 4 and the anti-Amendment 5 ads.
Not once. You did miss,
I've
you
yet
didn't
to
miss
see
anything.
that.
You did miss it.
I've not seen them report on the fact that the Missouri Realtors Association has dumped millions of dollars into this Amendment 4 campaign, the ads against it, or that the NEA has dumped millions of dollars into both. There are funds that are fighting against both of them. The Vote No Fund or something like that it's called. The NEA, the National Education Association, has dumped millions of dollars into that. All these out-of-state groups that are trying to stop you from protecting the Constitution and trying to stop you from reducing your income taxes or eliminating it. But what's the headline in the Post? Who's funding the campaign to scrap Missouri's income tax? Supporters aren't saying.
Oh, so the yes vote gets scrutinized of who's funding it, but nobody's funding or checking into who's funding the no vote. Yeah,
right. So, it's Jack Suntrip, one of the reporters over there, pretty predictable, brings up Rex Sinquefield right off the top. Of course, Rex is pretty well known for his contributions to the Show Me Institute over the years and all this stuff, right? And it points out the fact that I went to a Show Me Institute event a couple of years ago, and they had Art Laffer there from the guy that created the Laffer curve. He served as an advisor to Ronald Reagan, and he has long endorsed getting rid of state income tax. And he explained in length at this event how states do better. They perform better. Their economies are better in non-income tax states. So that was at a Show Me event, in fact, that I went to. But what this points out is that Rex Sinquefield has been on a mission to eliminate Missouri's personal income tax. But in the August 4th vote for this event coming up next week, he has been oddly silent. From what they can tell, Rex Sinquefield has not made any direct contributions to the campaign to pass Amendment 5. And he has not spoken out publicly to promote the proposal. I don't know if he doesn't like the way it's structured or what, but that's really weird because I ask myself on Amendment 3, I ask myself on Amendment 5, even on Amendment 4, where are all the rich conservative donors who ought to be funding these pro campaigns while all of the rich liberal donors are emptying out their pockets, clearly, right? I want to know where the other money's coming from. It's not coming from Rex Sinquefield. They seem to be making a point about this, that they don't know where the money's coming from. It must be dark money. Well, did you point out in your article, Jack, that dark money they'll be outspent probably 10-1 on these campaigns? On Amendment 4 and Amendment 5?
Because of national money coming in from out
Thank
of
you.
state.
The dark money coming from PACs out of state that have no name and you can't figure out who the donors are will outspend these evil people you're suggesting here 5 or 10-1 by the time this whole thing is over with. It's what the liberals do. But you're more worried about the fact that we don't know who all is contributing to the yes campaign for Amendment 5.
Just unbelievable.
How about taxpayers?
Yeah.
Who would see the most immediate relief from all of this? If you're a human being who works for a living, it would reduce this. Always remember that the left in this country prays at the altar of big government, and they see income tax as their money to do with what they choose. And when you start to talk about cutting off that lifeline, they freak out.
Or shrinking the state government overall.
Yes, and which is ultimately the goal here. That's what we need to do eventually is shrink government. But if you got a chance to get rid of your tax, why wouldn't you do it? Coming up, we'll talk to Dennis Ganal about the St. Louis County prospects.
Marc Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet August 11th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would
you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, August 11th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Paramount Skydance said it has agreed to pause its acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery until after a ruling on a challenge by states to the deal, plunging the $110 billion deal into further uncertainty. The agreement pausing the deal until next June, at the latest, trims a few weeks off the case schedule. The Odyssey continues to perform well.
This is a household waiting for master. I want you to choose me.
Ithaca's king is coming back.
No, he's not.
Christopher Nolan scored his second best weekend ever at the domestic box office after the film raked in another $87 million. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said he would seek to raise the issue of tariffs with President Trump after the Trump administration imposed new duties. The United States recently enacted new tariffs on goods from 60 trading partners, alleging those countries failed to curb the trade of goods made by forced labor. Futures are up this morning after the U.S. and Iran paused attacks. That's Your Money Now.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey. Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay?
I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Wow, we look really good on the roads at this hour. It's that July, summer. Oh, it just really looks good. A lot of people on vacation. 70 looks great from Forestell into downtown. 64, there's some moderate volume at 170, and that's kind of the worst of it. 270 northbound is in good shape. 55 looks good, and we've got multiple construction zones there. Now, the construction zone on the Illinois side on 5570 eastbound, especially between 203 and 111. There's a little bit of a delay there, but we look fine on the bridges and really on the Illinois side in general. We are in pretty good shape. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Congratulations to them on their 50-year anniversary. Now, you don't stay in business that long by not supplying quality products and outstanding service. The key is their experienced staff. Contact Barron Mirror Glass and Door today and let them show you why 50 years is just the beginning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, my friends at Golden Oak Lending are really trying to help you here. If you are in a bind, if you have a bunch of credit card debt, you really need to get paid off because you're sick of that 30% interest rate, call them at 314-567-GOLD, and they will help you. They'll answer you. They'll answer your questions, and they'll tell you if they can't help you. That's as important as helping you. They'll tell you if they can't, right? They're going to be honest with you. They're not just looking to make a buck here. But if you're a homeowner and you've got $20,000, $30,000 in short-term credit card debt or, a payday loan or something like that, you're getting raked over the coals every month. You might save $1,000 or more a month by consolidating and wrapping that into a refinance through Golden Oak Lending. They've got great rates right now, and you can they got rates in the 4s. You can call them up and ask them about that, and they can explain it. But at the end of the day, you could close in about 14 days, pay that off, and have an extra $1,000 in your pocket each month, plus a new low interest rate for your mortgage. Even if you're buying new, they've got great mortgage rates for you as well. Reach out to them. Tell them you heard Marc Cox bragging about them at Golden Oak Lending. I did my refinance through them all online. You can go to goldenoaklending.com or call them at 314-567-GOLD. Their NMLS number is 114937.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
Today,
The Cards, the Cubs.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
In the race for state senate, candidate Tricia Burns is missing votes. In just 4 years, Tricia Burns has missed over 400 votes in the Missouri House. Tricia Burns just didn't show up to vote 400 times. Like the vote blocking China from buying our farmland? Tricia Burns, absent. Banning DEI in state government? Absent. Ending taxpayer-funded abortion? Burns, absent. When conservative values were on the line, Tricia Burns went missing 400 times.
Mike Deering for state senate, he shows up and fights for us, for our farmers, for our families, for the conservative values that built Missouri.
I'm Mike Deering. I'll fight to protect our conservative values, and I'll be there every single time.
Mike Deering for state senate, showing up to fight for our conservative values. Paid for by friends of Mike Deering, Megan Kaiser, Treasurer.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
All right, T-minus 6 days, because next Tuesday is Election Day. You heard John Kennedy say earlier, there ought to be Election Day and not Election Month. I think that's kind of how he said it. But I agree with him, but that's not how it is. People have been voting now since, the 21st or 22nd. You could go in, no excuse, and vote to one of the centers. And then on Election Day, your local polling place will be open, and you can go vote then. Now, I've talked a lot about the statewide propositions this morning. There are some local propositions on the ballot. If you've looked at my voter guide, you'll see that I am a no on the internet tax that they're trying to push in St. Louis County. I've been talking to my friend Dennis Ganal from Missouri Tax Relief Now. I've got him on the line this morning. Dennis, how are you?
Morning, Mark. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I know I've had people reach out to me and say, "Okay, I see where you are on this Prop U. What about Prop C?" And I didn't include that in my guide, but I know it's something you've been looking at. Explain to people what that would do and where you are on it.
Well, it's a classic. It's classic legislation put together by a dysfunctional county government. Right? So, they're trying to hit us up for Prop U, to hit us up for 3.5% on our online purchases. We just defeated that bill a couple of years ago. So they're back because they've never taken control of their budget.
Right.
And this year, what they're trying to slip in is a couple of things on the same bill. The first one is pretty easy. It could be two different bills, should be. And the first one was, when people should take office. And that's easy for the county executive and the assessor. That's good. But the thing that they're slipping in is being able to raise the salaries. Now it's in the county that they can't raise the salaries of the incoming county executive or the assessor for 10 months prior to the election. Well, now they're trying to slip in a little paragraph that says, well, okay, we can change that salary at any time. So if they get their buddies in there and they want to increase that salary, the day before they take office, they can do that. And it's just reeks, doesn't it?
Well, their argument in favor of it seems to be all this would do would be to bring us in line with the way most the state government or the way the state law says it, right? Isn't that their argument? This is just, I think the ballot language might even say that, like that it corrects an error or something and brings the county law in line with the state law. Isn't that it?
Yeah, the ballot doesn't really even mention the fact that it has to do with salaries. What it talks about is it's bringing the county, bring the county be amended to bring the section in compliance with the Missouri Constitution.
Yeah.
And to correct an error on the date the term ends. Excuse me. So it doesn't even really mention the fact that they can now, that they would be able to increase the salaries on the county executive and the assessor at any time.
Yeah.
So so the court didn't get involved there.
So
right?
So we're a solid no then on Prop C because of that.
Absolutely. I think C is, it's just another classic. I mean, we've got a budget that's in free fall. They can't sit down to cut enough money to get control of their budget. And their answer is to go out and get money for the zoo, raise your sales taxes online to get money for the zoo, and I guess evidently to give raises to the county executive and the assessor the day before they take office.
Yeah. Yeah. Prop U, just for people who don't know, is you mentioned it there off the top. They're bringing back the internet sales tax at 3.5%. So, if you're like me and your family gets multiple visits from Amazon every week, cha-ching for the county, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, they're talking about an estimated $110 to $140 million a year. That's what they're trying to raise. The budget needs a lot more cuts than that. So their answer, instead of getting down and getting serious and getting nitty gritty and deciding, what they should be doing with their fire sprinkler systems and things like that, what are they going to do for an office? Well, their answer is to go out and get another $140 million, and that somehow is going to make them functional.
Yeah. To collect. And I got
to tell you, I'm really disappointed in Archer and Harder for supporting these things.
I haven't talked to them. They are on board with Prop U?
I believe they voted for both of them.
Interesting. One of the knocks on it is that this Shalonda Webb and who before that, was it Lisa Clancy, who were in charge of the budget for the county. I mean, they've overseen this slow disaster over the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. Instead of cutting, all they do is look for ways to raise more revenue.
Yeah, you're talking about Clancy, the sign stealer?
The same one and the same. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. She worked great at the World Series. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got these people that they're incompetent. They're totally incompetent. They're totally disingenuous. They do not represent, and they're the same people that are against Amendment 4 and Amendment 5 also. Don't forget that.
Of course.
Right, so it's the same groups of people. That's right.
Well, that'll make it easy. I mean, no on Prop C, no on Prop U if you're in St. Louis County. On the other amendments, like I just had somebody on talking about Amendment 4 a few minutes ago, Dennis, but on Amendment 5, I mean, here you've got people making the argument, oh, no, they're going to raise my taxes. While in St. Louis County, you're voting on raising your taxes on the internet sales, right? And what did you say it was, 3.5%?
Yeah, 3.5%. Yeah, that's exactly right, Mark. What a great point. So they're against, they're telling you, we can't put sales tax on people. It's too burdensome on the poor, too burdensome for the people that are on disabilities. They didn't mind cutting 20,000 seniors off the senior tax freeze, right? I mean, by having a really onerous renewal, 20,000 seniors lost their freeze during this sign-up session. They don't mind doing all those things, but they want to come back and get you for another $140 million in sales tax. I guess that doesn't hurt the poor and doesn't hurt the disabled and doesn't hurt the seniors.
Yeah, apparently not. I don't know. Are you disappointed like I am that we haven't had more money put into supporting these amendments 4 and 5? I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to end up getting outspent again like we did on Amendment 3 a couple of years ago by 5 or 10 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, tax relief now, we've been traveling all over the state doing town halls. And the thing that we see on this is I believe that they're actually Democrats, the Armor Vine, the Shield Maidens. I really think that they're actually Democrats that have learned how to tie into the conspiracy theorist Republicans and tell them that, this is somehow a big conspiracy. What Republicans have to realize is this bill was put together without one vote from the Democrats. So a no vote is really against all the Republicans that they put in office. So Republicans and fiscal conservatives should realize that this is being put together for taxpayers.
Yes.
For to protect the state from foreign money coming in and giving us drugs and giving us gambling and giving us whatever else that they want to give us, and pro-abortion. And 5 is here to protect taxpayers, people that are actually going out there and paying the bills. They always talk about the poor. Well, they got to face the fact. The fact is, if the people paying the bills can't afford to pay the bills, what's that going to do for the poor?
Yeah. Well, and they keep saying, well, you're not going to get any conservative bills passed, right, if you approve Amendment 4. Well, since the Hancock Amendment, have we altered the state constitution? It's always a Democratic issue being force-fed down our throats and being carried by Kansas City and St. Louis Democrats in the statewide voting.
That's exactly right. 100%.
Yeah, it's very true. Dennis, where can people go to find out more about Missouri Tax Relief Now? motaxreliefnow.org, our website, and then you'll get on our we send out pretty regular emails to just kind of update people on issues, where we're at, places that we'll be visiting, doing town halls. There's a great teletown hall tonight that's being put on by AFP Mo, I believe. You can find that on their website, too, about Amendment 5. Oh, all right. Very good. Dennis, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. It's always a pleasure.
Keep up the good work. Appreciate that. And we're going to be back in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
What a nice commute this morning. Just really light traffic. But there was an accident reported on 70 eastbound just past 141. You may encounter a little bit of a slow go through there. And we've got the same thing. There's an accident reported on westbound 270, kind of right at the edge of the Chain of Rocks Bridge, and that has created a delay back through the Canal Bridge. Now, if you're headed in from Illinois downtown, things look fine. 55 northbound a little slow, ramping on to northbound 270. But for the most part, we're okay. And 64 eastbound looks good. Even westbound does as well as you approach 170. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
All right, get your house clean with Zero Res right now, and they've got a great deal for you. They are going to give you 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. If you want your entire house Zero Resified for your air ducts, $599. It's a good deal, and you need to take advantage of it while you can, because month of July is going to end here very shortly. You know Zero Res, they're zero residue. Then it's right in the name. They don't leave behind a lot of residue and chemicals like these other cleaning companies do. They come in, they get your carpet cleaned, they get your floors cleaned, they can get upholstery and rugs cleaned, you name it, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. If you suffer from allergies or your kids do, what a great option to have Zero Res come in and clean your house for you. Call them today, 314-474-2020. That's 474-2020. Tell them you want the 97.1 special. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. Go online anytime to ZeroResSTL.com.
This is Jimmy Fallon from Fox Across America. One reason you should support America 250 is our country's now the same age as Nancy Pelosi. Happy birthday, America 250, you fine thing, you.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Have you heard those ads claiming Amendment 4 stops conservative amendments?
That's not true. It actually stops a couple big cities from pushing radical ideas into our Constitution. Remember 2024? Only 8 out of 114 counties voted to allow transgender surgeries on children.
That's terrifying. We can't let just a handful of counties rule the whole state.
Exactly. Amendment 4 requires broad statewide support and keeps foreign money out of our elections. Vote yes on 4 this August 4th.
You convinced me. I'm voting yes, too.
Paid for by Freedom Principle MO, Missouri First PAC, Kate Sickles, Treasurer.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Aging control systems can increase downtime and cybersecurity risk, especially in operations that run 24/7. Graybar helps organizations evaluate automation architectures and support the right upgrades, whether through incremental updates or full system replacements. The result is better visibility, stronger reliability, and a scalable foundation ready for what's next. Yep, Graybar does that.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
For a while there it was rough, but lately I've been doing better than the last 4 cold December.
Okay, I've heard him. I've heard of him now. I ask Ethan in the break, who the hell is Benson Boone? He goes, you've heard him. So then he found this song. This guy's at the Enterprise Center tonight. And the only reason I was asking that question is, as we're getting to work this morning at 4:30 in the morning, the Enterprise Center is surrounded by, I've never seen that many tractor trailers in my life. It looked like what they do when they have the pro bull riding here. There are like 75 tractor trailers over at Enterprise Center.
This is just a music concert. He has that big a staging? That's unbelievable.
I assume that's what it was for. I mean, they were all sitting out there idling, so they had to be getting ready to drop off the stuff for the whatever tour is going on there tonight.
Well, now we know.
Yeah, it's Benson Boone, in case you're wondering. And I don't know if there are tickets available still or not. I guess you'd have to go to the
there is on secondary
Enterprise website.
On the secondary market, there's always tickets available. How much do you want to pay?
Depends on how much you want to pay. So that's happening. I went and saw Odyssey on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
The Odyssey, or whatever you want to call
it. Yeah. The book was probably better than the movie, but that's all right.
Yeah. You know, my kids went and saw it. My son raved about it. And so he's 28, and my daughter, who's 18, went and saw it and raved about it. She thought it was great. I went and saw it, and I'm like, it was pretty good. I mean, I would say it's certainly worth going to see on a large screen. So I went to, it wasn't fully IMAX, but it was one of the bigger screens I went to see it on at the recommendation of my son. And it's a good movie to see on that because it's epic. I mean, it's the way it's filmed, and the ocean and the storms and the sea monsters. And if you know the Odyssey story, you know all that. It was 2.5 hours long. And I think they did a little bit of Cecil B. DeMille stuff here where they could have made it, they could have trimmed it by 30 minutes and it would have been a good movie. But instead they had to drag it out for two. I mean, anytime I can see Charlize Theron on a large screen, that makes me happy. Got to see her. But in general, they took more time than they needed for the movie.
So it was a 2.5, you said, hour total
Roughly,
movie?
yeah.
Did you also have the 30 minutes of promos and commercials and everything in
ahead of
beforehand?
time? Of course.
Yeah, so it's a 3-hour
Sure, it's
ordeal.
a 3-hour ordeal.
Oh,
if you
this
get
is saying
there,
it's 3 hours besides that.
Well,
it's 2 hours and 53 minutes.
yeah, well, it's two
my
plus.
gosh.
Yeah, it's a long movie. It's
and
a
you
long
had
movie.
30 minutes because we went to the movie the other day. We took the grandkids and went and watched Moana. Moana, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the live action.
Yeah, and it was okay. It was good too, but it took forever for the dang movie to start, and the movie itself was only an hour and 40 minutes.
I tell you what I saw during the previews, because when you've reserved your seat, you don't have to get there right at 7. You can just get there at 7:20, and the movie hadn't started yet. But we're sitting there because we got there right on time. Because my wife gets everywhere right on time, and there's a trailer for the Rocky movie, and the Rocky movie is about Sylvester Stallone writing Rocky and marketing it to these people to get the movie made. And the guy that they picked to play Rocky looks and sounds just like him. I mean, it's unbelievable it's uncanny how much this guy looks and sounds like a young Sylvester Stallone.
Cool.
And it's the movie about how he wrote the script and then wanted to do it, but he had to be the one that was the actor, and all the movie theater, all the movie producers rejected him, told him no, tried to buy him off. They tried to buy the script so they can make it with like Charles Bronson or somebody like that. And he said, no, I wouldn't sell it for $1 million. Basically, I'm going to go see it just because I've seen all the Rocky movies, and I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, well, and he's just a great dude. I love
Stallone.
Stallone, just a good guy.
Yeah, so that should be a good one. I don't even know when it's coming out, but when it does come out, I'll definitely go and see that one for sure. All right, Dan Buck, thanks for being in here this morning, my friend.
No problem. Back at it again tomorrow.
Go get some rest and
play a little pickleball tonight and be well rested by tomorrow.
Yes, you
Drink
will.
a lot of water, Dan.
Lots of
Drink
water.
Lots of water, dude. It's hot out there. All right, have yourselves a great morning. Kilmeade is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m.
Catch anything you missed today by getting the show podcast at 971talk.